After opening the 8th gate, it means death. Madara didn't understand why Uchiha Sasuke would choose to use this trick. This is simply God helping me too. After being stunned for a few seconds, Madara smiled, looking at the red light surging from her body. Sasuke, who exudes terrible coercion, has no fear at all. Because there is no need to worry at all. The countdown to Sasuke's life has begun. Thinking of this, Madara felt a lot more relaxed, and even looked softer at Guy. Also with the color of gratitude. If it weren't for this guy, forcing Sasuke to use the last gate of 8th gate. Madara also has quite a headache with Sasuke. After all, even for him, it would be a headache to defeat Sasuke again. And now that this headache problem has been solved for him, it is naturally very good. Mr. Guy. How is it? My 8th gate, is it okay? Looking at Sasuke, Might Guy's face was extremely pale. Sasuke not only opened the 8 inner gates, but in Might Guy's eyes, if there is any perfect opening of the 8 gates. So Sasuke's situation is like this, the perfect opening of 8th gate. Uchiha Sasuke is indeed the most talented ninja. Even a technique like 8 inner gates is so powerful in Sasuke's hands. Unexpectedly. Really. Mastered it, and it was perfectly mastered. It can be said that Sasuke's 8 inner gates are more perfect than his, and Guy can only achieve the 8th gate, which is almost perfect for a short time. As the burden on his body increased, his 8th gate was actually not so perfect. However, Sasuke is like steel, completely unchanged. The form, the breath, are almost perfect. It can be said that this is the textbook level 8 inner gates, the first 8th gate, dead gate. Thinking of this, Guy couldn't help swallowing. You must know that Sasuke in the normal state is already terrifyingly strong, but after opening 8 inner gates, Sasuke will become even more terrifying. The current self probably is no longer Sasuke's opponent. Sasuke. You should know the consequences of opening the 8 inner gates. Hearing this, Sasuke nodded, of course. If he didn't know the consequences of 8 inner gates, Sasuke wouldn't be able to master it. Since you know, why do you still? Guy couldn't figure out why Sasuke wanted to open the 8th gate directly. If he just wanted to defeat himself, he could use the 7th gate to delay. As long as he can guarantee that he will not die, it won't take much time for him to hold on. However, Sasuke chose to face it head on, without any intention of backing down. Because of the power of Mr. Guy's 8th gate, I don't want to miss it. Said Sasuke, slowly squatted down, accumulating strength. Suddenly raised his hand and punched. Evening. Boom. The blast wave of the sudden burst of air swept across the side of Guy's face. A terrifying air current swept over, instantly distorted the space. Guy froze for a moment. Did Sasuke miss the blow just now? Sasuke smiled. This power is really strong. Looking at the 2 groups of red rays of light on the battlefield. At this moment, the ninjas are stunned. 8th gate, 2 8 gates. Both of them have turned on 8 inner gates, and Uchiha Sasuke can also use 8 inner gates. This guy is also capable of such terrifying taboo physical skills. In this world, is there any skill that this monster doesn't know? I'm afraid. Not at all. Ninjutsu. This guy is a grandmaster with 5 escapes, and even if he releases a jutsu casually, he has an extremely thick calendar. Illusion is needless to say. As the Uchiha clan, Mangekyo Sharingan has been activated, and there is even a person who has a strange Rinnegan. His illusion is absolutely outrageous. The last physical skill, although he has strong physical skills, he may not necessarily have mastered powerful physical skills, but now it seems that this guy is no flaws, no short board, a flawless ninja. Thinking of this, the ninjas feel more and more heavy. But this time Jonin laughed. Don't worry, although this guy is perfect, he can even be said to be the most perverted monster ever in the ninja world. But once the 8th gate is used, it means that he will die soon. This is a power that can only be obtained at the cost of life. Hearing that other ninjas suddenly seem to shine. Really? If so, what are they worried about? Don't worry at all. Thinking of this, all the ninjas turned their heads to look in Sasuke's direction. And at the moment Sasuke looked at Guy. Teacher Guy, judging by your appearance, you probably don't have much strength left. It's the last move, let's decide the winner. Hearing this, Guy nodded. Okay. Then the final move will determine the winner. Sasuke, you may die with this blow. Die? Maybe. I really want to try it too, a new trick. New trick? What new trick? Although I don't quite understand it, but now Guy's time is indeed running out, and his life is coming to an end. Hurry up. Squat down slowly and make a run-up movement. At this moment, Guy raised his head and looked at Sasuke in front of him. As coming. Sasuke. It was said that Sasuke also bent down, squatted down and lowered his posture as much as possible. In an instant, the wind around seemed to stop suddenly. It's like being forcibly given by Sasuke, and sucked back. Airflow is compressed. Seeing this scene, Madara's breathing became short of breath. What an astonishing power, it can affect the space without relying on chakra, just relying on pure power. On the other side, the red blood on Guy's body was about to completely dissipate. In the next second, Guy's face was ferocious, and the veins on his face burst out. In the blink of an eye, Guy rushed directly to Sasuke. Beep. Night Guy. The sudden acceleration, like a flash, brought Guy's speed to a terrifying level. Immediately after, he jumped and kicked Sasuke. Immediately afterwards, the red light erupted, spreading along Guy's body towards the rear in an instant, and condensed into a large dragon head in a moment. Like an extremely huge dragon, roaring, opened its bloody mouth, and biting towards Sasuke quickly. At this moment, the momentum exploded, and all the voices of the entire battlefield were covered. Guy's roar echoed in the sky, and almost at the same time, Sasuke's direction. Thunder burst. Sasuke adjusted his breathing. This trick was specially created for 8 Gate, although it may not be so perfect. But enough is enough. Raising his head, Sasuke's eyes locked on Guy instantly. Breath of Thunder. 8 type. This is a formula created by Sasuke. The red light gathered on the Kusanagi sword, and the condensed aura was not as dazzling as Guy's moves. But it seems to be compressed and then compressed. A split second. Sasuke's eyes glowed red. Then, the light shines. The red thunder flashed across the battlefield in an instant. In a blink of an eye, a red light suddenly appeared, and a red light that illuminated the entire battlefield burst out directly. But a flash of red thunder, but it didn't stay for too long, it just disappeared in a short flash. Compared with Guy's trick, Yigai, the movement is much, much smaller. At this moment, Guy's figure is still moving towards Sasuke's direction. For a split second Sasuke looked up. After such a simple action, Sasuke's figure disappeared like a wisp of smoke in the next second. Then Sasuke appeared behind Guy. Standing straight, the Kusanagi sword in the letter is slowly being put into the scabbard. Seeing this scene, Madara's hair instantly stood up. Can't help but feel scared for a while, so fast. I can't see it at all. Madara's eyes are in the state of Mangekyo Sharingan, and the insight is definitely not weak. In this situation, he couldn't see Sasuke's movements clearly. One can imagine how fast Sasuke's speed was at that moment just now. Even Madara is completely dumbfounded now. As a legendary ninja, Madara looked at Sasuke's back with a hint of fear. And the next second, something even more terrifying happened. In the air, the dragon's head formed by the condensed red blood energy, round and round, spread out in an instant. Guy fell directly from the air to the ground, rolling and crawling all the way, and swept a distance of nearly 100 meters before slowly stopping. Previously, the scene like a mountain roaring and a tsunami disappeared. The wind was blowing. The smoke drifted away slowly. Guy stood up staggeringly from the ground, the last trace of red blood on his body was about to dissipate. He looked back at Sasuke, his eyes were full of shock. Night Guy was broken. Moreover, it was broken in an instant, without the power to fight back, and it was destroyed. There is simply no way to resist. Is this 8 Gate by Uchiha Sasuke? Is this move also a move in your Breath of Thunder? As Guy's voice sounded, even if it was only from the voice, it could be clearly heard that Guy probably didn't have much time. And Sasuke looked up at the sky. That's right. But I don't think I've seen it. Speaking of Sasuke's Breath of Thunder, he should be one of the few people who has seen all the moves of Breath of Thunder, but he has never seen this move that Sasuke used this time. Because this is a move I created especially for the 8 inner gates, the 8th. Hearing this, Guy was stunned. Breath of Thunder, if you remember well, there were only 7 styles before. It has been evaluated by Jiraiya as not weaker than the forbidden body art of 8 inner gates, and now Sasuke has developed the 8th form. This also means that Sasuke's Breath of Thunder has surpassed 8 inner gates. Sasuke. You are the real strongest. Plop. Guy responded directly to the end, and his breath was disappearing bit by bit. And hearing Guy's last words, Madara fell silent. Before he called Guy the strongest, although he didn't mean the strongest in ninja world, he just said that he was the strongest in taijutsu. But now it seems that the strongest person is not Guy, but the monster in front of him. Uchiha Sasuke. This talent, indeed even the shining leaves of himself and Senju Hashirama can't seem to cover Sasuke. Such a genius, such an evildoer, now Madara is a little thankful that he was not born in the same era as her. Otherwise, whether there is a character like Uchiha Madara is a question. No matter what era Sasuke was born in, he was destined to overwhelm the people of the entire era, and at the same time let all the strong men who have appeared before be compared to him. He is so dazzling. Now such a dazzling supernova, even the sun is covered by its light. But still can't avoid death. Opening the 8 inner gates means death. Sasuke must die, even if he seems to be able to hold on for a little longer. But there is nothing to be afraid of. It wasn't just Madara who clearly knew this, the other ninjas also felt relieved for some reason. Although Konoha's ninja Might Guy lost to Sasuke in the final blow, but even if Sasuke wins, it's useless. He still couldn't avoid dying. This guy is indeed terrifyingly strong, but it's a pity that he has opened the 8 gate. He doesn't have much time. Konoha's ninja will be remembered by the entire ninja world. If it weren't for him, Uchiha Sasuke, a terrifying person, no one would be able to kill him. Physical arts are the strongest. This guy is not only the strongest in physical arts, right? Ninjutsu, illusion, all belong to the strongest. The ninjas are not stingy with their praise for Sasuke now. After all, Sasuke's strength makes them fearful, but a dying person, don't be afraid, it doesn't seem to matter if you say a few words of praise for him. The ninjas smiled instead, but at this time Sasuke suddenly moved. Walked towards the direction of Might Guy, looking at Guy lying on the ground about to die. Sasuke knelt down slowly. The other ninjas froze for a moment. What is this trying to do? Don't you even plan to let others die? If this is the case, then Sasuke is a bit too much. Why do people who are already dead? Suddenly Sasuke put a hand on Guy's heart. Sasuke smiled. It's a pity to die like this, let's live. Speaking of yin-yang escape technique, it was activated directly. Guy's life stopped draining. Seeing this scene, some ninjas of the Hyuga clan were dumbfounded. The flame of Guy's life was about to be completely extinguished in the last second. Why did it stop in the next second? What did he do? Why did the situation inside Mr. Might Guy stop getting worse all of a sudden? Did I read it wrong? Might Guy's breathing seems to have calmed down. As the voices of the ninjas sounded, Madara on the side was also stunned. Although he didn't roll his eyes, he was suddenly rescued as to whether a person was dead or dying. He is still easy to tell. This. Impossible. How can the person who opened the 8 inner gates still be rescued? Sasuke had noticed Madara a long time ago, and it was as if he could hear Madara's inner voice at this time. Speak directly. Confused? Think that if you turn on 8 inner gates, you will die? Sasuke stood up slowly, the red light on his body disappeared, and then the powerful chakra wave broke out again. As strong as ever. I've said it all, you just inherited your strength, but you never thought about continuing to improve your strength. Having mastered the yin-yang dungeon, I can ignore the side effects of the mere 8 inner gates. Of course, it is not completely ignored, the consumption of vitality, even Sasuke needs time to use yin-yang dun and chakra to recover again. But now with the fire of chakra, it is only a small problem to fully recover the life force. Ignore the side effects of 8 inner gates? Madara is dumbfounded. No, impossible. Sasuke didn't seem to have anything at all, which made Madara completely dumbfounded. The words of Sasuke are still replaying in my mind. Yin and yang escape. It just inherited power and didn't know how to improve it. But no matter how chakra changes, isn't it chakra? What's the use of working hard on that kind of thing? Wouldn't it be better to get powerful directly? If Sasuke knew what he was thinking, he would definitely find it very funny. Mastering power and understanding the nature of power are two completely different meanings. Madara will probably never understand. Sasuke took a look at Madara. I don't plan to continue talking. He turned his head and looked in Naruto's direction. Naruto. No one can stop me now. Step up and walk in the direction of Naruto. And the whole time, the ninjas around fell powerlessly to the ground. Looking at Sasuke who was walking slowly in horror, he felt the terrifying chakra waves surging from Sasuke. This kind of pressure is so strong that they feel as if their bodies become extremely heavy in an instant. They didn't dare to breathe out at all. They could only stare at Sasuke silently, and when Sasuke approached, they lowered their heads slowly. He didn't dare to look at Sasuke at all. A person who opened 8 inner gates and was able to completely ignore the side effects. A man who can even reverse death. Such a monster is not theirs to block at all. Tsunade also noticed Sasuke approaching. Her complexion was not very good. After activating the taboo body technique, 8 inner gates, there are actually no side effects. Can anyone really do something like this? The principle of 8 inner gates, Tsunade is also clear. At her level, the differences between different techniques are actually very small, but even these small differences can lead to big differences. Opening the 8th gate is equivalent to liberating all restrictions in the body, allowing the body to directly release all self-protection. How can a person be okay in this situation? If Tsunade had to think of a possibility to explain it, there is probably only one possibility. That is to directly change a body, or directly repair the damaged organs instantly. And also to supplement the consumed vitality. Otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to be safe and sound. Sasuke approached step by step, and the ninjas along the way didn't want to draw Sasuke at all. Tsunade took a look at Naruto, who was still trying his best to absorb the tailed beast chakra. Walked straight toward Sasuke. Stand in front of Sasuke. Sasuke glanced at Tsunade, Master Hokage. Hearing that Tsunade didn't say a word, the incomparable silence and the chakra fluctuations on his body also appeared to be very violent. Obviously ready to shoot. Sasuke smiled. You can't stop me, don't waste my time. I am the 5th Hokage of Konoha. If you want to go there, you have to ask me if I agree. A fight seemed inevitable. Sasuke sighed, then, come on. The gloomy eyes of Madara in the distance are about to drip water. Uchiha Sasuke is so strong that he can ignore the side effect of 8 inner gates. It was even able to save another person who was sure to die. Such ability. The key problem is that Sasuke did not use Rinne Tensei technique. Sasuke's power far exceeds Madara's imagination. I can't wait any longer. Madara glanced at Black Zetsu, who was slowly emerging from the side. Let's move. Wait any longer, and 9 tails won't necessarily fall into anyone's hands. Hearing this, Black Zetsu also nodded. He also looked at Sasuke, his eyes full of jealousy. Uchiha Sasuke, what an unexpected guy. Yin-Yang Dun was actually mastered by him. And it's still not weaker than the Sage of 6 Paths level Yin-Yang escape technique. The current Sasuke is not 10 tails, but has mastered this ability. What would happen if Sasuke knew 10 tails in God Tree? Maybe it will become an existence beyond the mother. It's not that Black Zetsu is so optimistic about Sasuke, but because Sasuke has ideas that no one else has. That's figuring out the nature of power, whether it's Sage of 6 Paths or Uchiha Madara. They all just mastered the power, not really understood the essence of power. At this point, they are doomed. No matter how much power they have, they will always be shrouded in the brilliance of Kagaya. It is absolutely impossible to surpass Kagaya. But Sasuke is different. Sasuke's thinking gave Sasuke the possibility to surpass Kagaya. After all, if this guy has a certain power, he will pursue the ultimate of that power. In Ultimate Vice Admiral powers up to even more terrifying levels. Really can't wait any longer. Project Tasuki no Mi must be launched as soon as possible. And at this moment, Obito finally couldn't sit still. Originally, he planned to wait until everything was settled before he came out, so as to implement his own plan, but he didn't expect it. Now he is about to be forced to act early. If it doesn't start again, 9 Tails doesn't know if they will be taken away by Sasuke. Once 9 Tails is captured by Sasuke, it will be even more troublesome. At that time, 10 Tails will definitely not want to be resurrected. Then let's get started. Obito looked at Black Zetsu on the ground. At this moment, Nagato, who had been captured by Obito long ago, and Conan was already unable to move. And Nagato was also lying on the ground staring at Obito. You're the same as me, Obito. Obito raised his hand and directly gouged out one of Nagato's eyes. Then he took off the mask and implanted it in his eye socket. Wood-style cells allow Obito to implant instantly. Obito smiled. You were right. But the one who succeeds in the end will only be me. Hearing that there was only one eye left, Nagato smiled. Is it? I want to see what you will do. And at the moment Obito has disappeared. On the battlefield, Obito looked like an ant, as if he could not kill all the ninja allies. It's time to welcome the coming of God, the combined army of ninjas, said Obito Seal. Next second, Geto statue somewhere. Directly brought to the battlefield by Obito summoning. When the gigantic Geto statue appeared, all the ninjas were stunned. Including ninjas from Impure World Reincarnation. They all looked towards the Geto statue. What the hell is this? So huge. However, as Geto statue opened his hands and roared wildly. In the next second, he raised his leg and stomped fiercely towards the camp of the coalition army. Suddenly the ground shook wildly. A large number of ninjas were trampled into flesh in an instant. And Obito, who dominates the Geto statue, finally appeared. Put on a new mask and sit on Geto statue's shoulders. Okay. All ninjas of the United Army, now. You have no chance to regret. Feel the power of God, corpse. Boom buzz. With Geto statue's huge size, even if it's just a casual punch, They can instantly kill a large number of ninjas. In an instant, the screams of the ninjas rose one after another. Can't stop at all. Looking at the extremely huge figure, even taller than the mountain, the figure kept walking towards them step by step. Every step is capable of crushing countless ninjas, while the army of White Zetsu, and the ninja force of Impure World Reincarnation. Coordinated attack, the form of the battlefield almost instantly presents a one-sided situation. But in this case, Sighing is already completely close to the limit. Gaara has been wounded in many places, no less than 100 wounds due to their size. And he was the least injured shadow. Because of his fighting methods, he can keep fighting at a long distance. But even so, with such heavy injuries, let alone others. Darui supported 4th generation Raikage, who was seriously injured and kept spitting blood. Looking at the large and small blood holes on 4th Raikage's body. These are the wounds that 3rd Raikage left on 4th Raikage. They are obviously father and son, but now they have become enemies, letting the father do such a deadly thing to his son. Although 4th Raikage didn't say anything, he was quite helpless in his heart. And the anger in 3rd Raikage's heart was already written on his face. If he hadn't been controlled and had no choice, I'm afraid the first person he turned around to kill would be someone from Xiao's organization. Master 4th generation, take a break. Master 3rd generation, leave it to me to deal with it. Hearing this, 4th Raikage smiled. Darui, it will definitely be an excellent movie in the future. But you can't handle it now. The lightning-style chakra mode of 3rd Raikage, even if it is the peak state of 4th Raikage, does not necessarily dare to say that it can resist 100%. Not to mention elite Jonin like Darui, not an opponent at all. The battle up to now can be regarded as a crushing defeat. Killer Bee died, Cloud Shinobi Village suffered heavy damage, and the village was seriously injured. And now, watching one ninja after another die at the hands of Gedo statue. 4th Raikage gritted his teeth fiercely, blood seemed to seep from his gums. It's not just 4th Raikage who have such sentiments. Also, 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi, as well. 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei, watching Kirigakure's few ninjas, died again in large numbers. Now she has fallen to the ground, guarded by Bai, she is almost completely desperate. Powerful. Too strong. Not just Uchiha Sasuke, one man is like an army. The combined ninja army had no power to fight back. However, I didn't expect that even the Akatsuki organization was so powerful. They are not opponents at all, even though the joint army's ninjutsu is several times that of theirs. But still not their opponents. Terumi Mei looked at the Gedo statue approaching ahead. Could it be? God, do you want to completely destroy the 50 boudoirs? Beep. Suddenly a thunder flashed. However, the sudden roar seemed to make Terumi Mei feel that her idea was about to come true. For a moment the sky was overcast. At this moment, the weasel jumping rapidly somewhere looked back at the big snake behind him. Are you sure we didn't go wrong? Hearing this, Orochimaru smiled. Let's go. Itachi, that guy has my power, and I will never feel wrong. After confirming again, Itachi continued to move in that direction. Why Orochimaru is with Itachi? Because when Itachi left the village and wanted to find a pocket, the first thing that comes to mind is Orochimaru. As Orochimaru's subordinate, Do left Orochimaru's side, ran to the Akatsuki organization, and used reanimation jutsu to summon so many ninjas. Itachi couldn't believe that Orochimaru would be so defenseless against his subordinates. It's not like Orochimaru's approach. Even if Orochimaru was unprepared, he definitely found the pocket, at least Orochimaru knew roughly where it was. Don't underestimate Orochimaru's vengeance. So when he came to the underground base of Yinin village, Itachi found Orochimaru, and it made sense that Orochimaru went to find Yukushi Kabuto. The reason why Orochimaru agrees is also very simple. Just thought it would be so much fun. As for betraying him and taking refuge in Xiao's organization, Yinji didn't care at all. So I came with Itachi to look for the bag together. At the same time, Orochimaru also wanted to tell Do to his face that he had never been able to surpass himself. Came to a cave entrance. Itachi walked in first. Orochimaru hesitated for a few seconds but followed. The inner pocket of the cave has long sensed the arrival of the two of them. Originally, Do wanted to escape, but he sensed Orochimaru's chakra, so he didn't want to leave. He wants to meet Lord Orochimaru. Let Orochimaru know that he is far better than Sasuke. Why give up and choose Sasuke? The moment to decide the fate of the ninja world is coming. What really decides fate is not the situation on the battlefield, but Itachi. If he can let Do's reanimation jutsu be released, or let Do control those ninjas and become the strength of the Ninja United Army, then this war will usher in a huge change. The coalition forces will have absolutely overwhelming power. Defeat all enemies easily, and the crisis in the ninja world can be easily resolved. At this moment, Itachi's mood was very serious. Suddenly he seemed to sense something, and turned his head to look in the direction of the battlefield. Beep. With an amazing roar, Sasuke easily caught Tsunade's fist. With a quick drag, Tsunade was grabbed directly. An easy elbow sent Tsunade flying. Tsunade, who fell to the ground, coughed and stood up with his body propped up. I've said it all, if you can't stop me, why waste time? Hearing this, Tsunade wiped the corner of his mouth. While smiling. Uchiha Sasuke, what are you talking about? I'm Konoha's Hokage. No matter what the reason is, even if you must die, you must not retreat. Speaking of the intense fighting spirit in Tsunade's eyes, the 100 healings mark on his forehead burst into dazzling purple light. 100 healings mark, solution. Baihao technique, open. The heroine Tsunade Heim is now fully fired, but Sasuke was speechless. Want to suffer so much? Lightning style, Lei Shun. Instantly turned into lightning and appeared directly in front of Tsunade. This speed Tsunade had no time to react at all. Sasuke directly pierced the black stick into Tsunade's body. With the ninja art, meiotic regeneration technique, Tsunade has no problem with this injury. At the same time wood style activates, wood style vines trap Tsunade so that she cannot move. Clapped hands. Sasuke turned his head and walked in the direction of Naruto, and the other ninjas didn't dare to stop him at all, and retreated directly. Damn. Uchiha Sasuke, you have the ability to come at me. Damn. Let me go. Sasuke walked towards Naruto with a very firm gaze. However, at this time, Madara, who appeared not far from Sasuke, looked at Sasuke sideways. I'm sorry. Nine Tails, I won't give him up to you so easily. Except for Nine Tails, you can do whatever you want. Madara. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Mr. Madara thinks he can stop me alone? It may be a little troublesome to block it, but if you hold it, not a problem. Hold on. Want to hold yourself back? Sasuke smiled. What are you holding back for? Turning his head and looking towards the other end of the battlefield, the Geto statue who was massacring crazily had already appeared. Sasuke nodded. Do you want to wait for the reinforcements to come? Madara smiled without denying it. His eyes are fixed on Sasuke, and he can't relax for a moment in the face of Uchiha Sasuke. Alone. It's hard to do this, Mr. Madara. As soon as the voice fell, the next second Sasuke appeared in front of Madara with black lightning like a ghost. Since I exited from the Sage transformation mode, I also opened the 8 inner gates at the same time. Now Sasuke, there is no way to continue to open Sage mode. But even so, Sasuke has the fire of chakra. Burst chakra instantly, and move directly with lightning style. The speed it has is not something that Madara can easily react to. One strike. The instant punch directly made Madara's complexion change. At this moment he wanted to dodge, but found that compared with Sasuke, the speed was still too slow. But, raise your hand to block. Bang. A punch hit Madara's body, and Madara's arm dissipated instantly. Impure World Reincarnation's body couldn't stop Sasuke's fist back. Madara turned over and stood on the ground with one hand, jumped away and opened the distance with Sasuke. Guaranteed not to be attacked again. Judging from this blow, Sasuke's state has also dropped a lot. If it is like this, ZZ, the roar of thunder and lightning was thinking. Sasuke has appeared behind Madara. It's too slow, Mr. Madara. This speed is like a snail crawling to me, without any deterrent effect. Saying that, Sasuke raised his black stick and prepared to pierce Madara's body directly. At this moment, apart from the astonishment on Madara's face, there was also a trace of helplessness. I originally wanted to hide until the end, but now it seems that there is no way to continue hiding. The Mangekyo Sharingan of the eyes begins to change. Rinnegan appears. In an instant, Shenluo Tianzhong broke out. The terrifying repulsion directly bounced Sasuke away. To be precise, the moment Sasuke felt the power of Rinnegan, he took the initiative to back away. The black stick was instantly shattered. However, Sasuke stood looking at Madara from afar. Rinnegan, are you finally willing to use it? Hearing Sasuke's words, Madara was a little surprised, as if Sasuke knew he had Rinnegan. Madara's Rinnegan is no surprise to Sasuke, but to other ninjas it's like hell. Ninjas who have been reincarnation by Impure World can retain their previous ability, that is, blood inheritance limit. But isn't Uchiha Madara a Uchiha family? It's normal to have Sharingan. But why is Madara able to have the power of Rinnegan? Why? This is simply impossible. Isn't Rinnegan the god's eye of Sage of Six Paths? How does it feel that since the leader of the Akatsuki organization has Rinnegan, even other people have Rinnegan one after another? It's almost like Rinnegan wholesale. Sasuke also has Rinnegan. What's going on? Did Rinnegan evolve from Sharingan? Impossible. One ninja expressed his conjecture boldly, and the other ninjas became more and more likely after hearing it. It does seem likely that this is the case. Otherwise, how to explain that Madara has Rinnegan, and Zuju also has Rinnegan? But why do the Uzumaki clan have Rinnegan? Too many questions. You already knew I had Rinnegan? Madara's question made Sasuke smile. Not to mention that Sasuke knows about the plot. Let's say that Sasuke can perceive chakra. If he can't even perceive chakra on Madara, then it's too rubbish. I know the power of wood style in you, Mr. Madara. Hearing this, Madara was stunned for a moment, so it seems that Sasuke is indeed like him, because he got the wood style cells and thus opened the Rinnegan. But what seems to be different about Sasuke is that the power of wood style is integrated with Sasuke. It seems that Sasuke is not a fused Hashirama cell, but developed wood style's blood succession limit by himself. Thus relying on this power to open the Rinnegan. Relying on his own strength, he can only open one Rinnegan, which looks really good, and he combined Hashirama's power to get a pair of Rinnegan. It's a pity that Sasuke had believed in himself too much, and completely lost the opportunity to activate the double Rinnegan. Pity. Now that you know it, don't hide it. Speaking of which, don't you also have Rinnegan? Sasuke. Then let's see whose Rinnegan is stronger. Just as Madara finished speaking, the next second Sasuke raised his hand to Madara's direction. Then try it. Universal pull. In an instant, Madara's body was directly pulled by Sasuke, and Madara's eyes shrank slightly at this instant. He was about to launch the same power against Sasuke, but the moment the power exploded, he found that he was not Sasuke's opponent at all. The power of universal pull was easily suppressed by Sasuke. Couldn't even shake Sasuke at all. My own Rinnegan power is so much weaker than Sasuke? How can it be? This kid only has one Rinnegan, but he has two Rinnegans. Thinking of this, Madara's face suddenly became gloomy. If this continues, she will be trapped by Sasuke with a black stick. Absolutely not. Madara in the air clasped his hands together suddenly. Wood style, the world tree is coming. Madara, who directly released wood style ninjutsu, instantly caused wood style vines to burst out from the ground around Sasuke. Sasuke smiled and formed mudra with one hand. Wood style, the world tree is coming. Against wood style completely blocked Madara's wood style with ease, and even smashed Madara's wood style incidentally. Looking at that, Sasuke was completely helpless. Madara's eyes narrowed slightly. Susanoo. Sudden appearance of Susanoo slashed toward Sasuke. Sasuke raised his hand, and Shinra Tenjin exploded, easily blocking Susanoo's attack. It even directly broke Susanoo's curved blade. Madara froze for a moment, then suddenly turned around, sweeping directly in the direction of Naruto. It seems difficult to hold Sasuke down, the only way is to get Naruto immediately. However, this step was also expected by Sasuke. The Kusanagi sword with the black thunder directly hit Madara's body, and the moment Sasuke was paralyzed by lightning style, Sasuke came behind Madara. Grab Madara by the shoulders. Compared to speed, I'm not afraid of anyone. Madara's face was extremely ugly. He didn't expect that Rinnegan, whom he regarded as his whole card, would be so powerless when facing Sasuke. Could it be because of the suppression effect of Rinnegan? Why is my Rinnegan power so different from Sasuke's? Is it because I am the body of impure world reincarnation, not a real living body? That's right, it must be so. 9 tails, you can't move. Sasuke said. Madara smiled. I can't touch 9 tails what you said, but someone can. Swish. Suddenly, second Hokage Senju Tobirama appeared, directly on 4th Hokage's body, raised his hand, and instantly disrupted the control of these sealed ninjas, directly breaking through the triple seal left by Sasuke on his body. Seeing this scene, Sasuke froze for a moment. Originally, these ninjas of the Grandmaster Seal technique did not completely unlock the seal on Namikaze Minato. It is just at the critical point that Minato's seal is about to be untied, but has not yet been untied. In this way, Naruto can better absorb the 9 tails chakra in Minato's body, and thus get the complete 9 tails chakra. But now the second Hokage that suddenly appeared, although the sealing technique is not as good as Sasuke, but it is equivalent to having so many ninjas of the Grandmaster sealing technique to help, and the door can be kicked open with just one kick. It is not difficult for him to lift the seal of Namikaze Minato. Seal lifted. At this moment, the sealed ninjas around were shocked. Even Naruto raised his head in an instant, looking at second Hokage who suddenly appeared in surprise. Why is this guy able to just show up all of a sudden? When the Narutos unlocked the Minato seal, it was at the 0 point. Unleashes the chakra of 9 tails, which also unleashes the chakra of Namikaze Minato to a certain extent. This is equivalent to allowing second Hokage to perceive Minato's chakra. Both of them are Grandmaster Flying Thunder God technique, so they are able to catch each other's seals and appear to stand here directly. Second Hokage broke through Sasuke's magnet-style sand iron coffin and grabbed the fourth Hokage inside. And at this moment Naruto wants to hold fourth Hokage. But in the next second Tobirama kicked Naruto away. The two directly cast Flying Thunder God and disappeared. Then Sasuke appeared in Naruto's place. On the other side, Naruto suddenly saw Madara in front of him, waving his arms and punching him fiercely. This moment, Madara was stunned, and Naruto was also stunned. He didn't understand why Sasuke suddenly disappeared, and it was Nine Tails Jinchuriki who appeared in front of him. Is this sending Nine Tails in front of me? When Madara was thinking this way, Nine Tails chakra erupted directly from Naruto's body, instantly turning into a huge chakra's hand, and grabbed Madara directly. While attacking Madara, Naruto was also thinking. Just now. What was that? Sasuke's Flying Thunder God. Sasuke looked at the sand and iron coffin scattered in front of him. Now the surprise turned into fine sand scattered all over the ground. Sasuke clenched his fist lightly, a little unhappy. I didn't expect to be taken advantage of by second Hokage. Sure enough, there is still no way to do everything by myself. After all, there are too many enemies, and the strength of each one is not bad. It's a headache. Turn back. Sasuke looked at Madara who was competing with Naruto. Rinnegan's strength easily broke free from Chakra's hand, and Madara's backhand wood style exploded, directly controlling the wood style Fujiman to quickly sweep away in the direction of Naruto. Directly transform Naruto of Nine Tails, control and point at Nine Tails to tear up the surrounding wood style vines. But these wood style vines seem to be endless. There was no intention of stopping at all. Non-stop, constantly entangled with Naruto. Make Naruto go out of his way, but there's no such thing as too good a way. Send Nine Tails in front of me, then I will be disrespectful. While talking, Madara still had a smile on her face. But in the next second, Madara noticed that the scene in front of her suddenly changed. The person who came face to face turned into Sasuke. At the same time, a strange purple light shone in Sasuke's Rinnegan. At this moment Madara froze for a moment. Is this a pupil technique? This time Madara was pretty sure it wasn't some Flying Thunder God technique. This is 100% pupil technique, and it is not Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil technique, but Reincarnation Sharingan's pupil technique. Only Rinnegan can have such a pervert pupil technique. In an instant, he shifted his position. Is this a pupil technique similar to spatial ability? Think here. Madara's face became extremely ugly. Sasuke shot Chidori directly through Madara's body the moment Madara appeared. Immediately afterwards, at the moment when Madara was completely unable to react, he directly pierced her body with the black stick. The black rod interferes with the flow of chakra in Madara. For a moment of being unable to move, Sasuke grabbed Madara's neck with his hands. A palm directly hit Madara's abdomen, sealing technique. 8-sign seal. Sasuke intends to seal Madara directly, otherwise it will be too troublesome. However, the sealing technique has not yet hit Madara in the next second, and the second generation and fourth generation pupil techniques appear. Sasuke's eyes shrank instantly. The sealing technique in his hand instantly transformed into an attacking ninjutsu. Lightning style. Chidori stream. ZZZ. The explosive lightning style chakra surged up from under his feet instantly. It directly impacted the surrounding area, covering Sasuke in almost an instant. At the same time Rasengan of 4th Hokage also managed to hit Sasuke. But it was blocked by Sasuke's Chidori style. Then Sasuke wanted to fight back, but the two guys just used Flying Thunder God to go away. By the way, Madara was also taken away. Sasuke turned to look at Geto statue's position. Just use Flying Thunder God to move to that far. Does this mean you don't intend to continue fighting with yourself? Madara. Another escape. There is also 4th Hokage. Doesn't that mean Geto statue can devour Nine Tails chakra? Although it is only a part of chakra in Nine Tails, it is probably enough to make Geto's statue start to change. Thinking of this, Sasuke is ready to rush over. But beat behind. Naruto landed. Stand behind Sasuke. Sasuke's figure paused slightly. At this time, Naruto came to the door. Is this a good thing or not? Sasuke sighed softly. It seems that the emergence of 10 tails is a foregone conclusion. Forget it. No matter what 10 tails is, if it appears and then beat it back to its original form, it will be fine. Thinking of this, Sasuke turned his head and looked at Naruto in front of him. Naruto. The two stood opposite each other, and the surrounding atmosphere at this moment seemed a little weird. The ninjas looked at each other. These two people, he seems, as if there is some special emotion. Konoha's 9 tails Jinchuriki, and Uchiha Sasuke. The two seem to be friends. Currently you got about 80% of the 9 tails chakra. Hearing this, Naruto nodded, not bad. As he spoke, Naruto looked at the tailed beast chakra flowing in his hand. Originally, what I thought was to completely master the 9 tails chakra, and then fight you again, defeat you, and bring you back to Konoha. Unfortunately, got spoiled by that Uchiha Madara. Hearing this, Naruto seemed a little regretful. With 100% 9 tails chakra, the power boost it brings is naturally different. Now it is only 80%, so the power will be greatly reduced. But 80%, the changes brought about are not bad. Now, maybe there is hope of defeating you. Saying that, Naruto stared at Sasuke. Sasuke smiled. Beat yourself. If Naruto has fully awakened Ashura chakra, there should be a chance, but it is not known whether Naruto's Ashura chakra has fully awakened. Then give it a try. Sasuke looked at Naruto. Naruto also looked at Sasuke. Before the two started to make a move, their eyes had already started to collide fiercely. The collision of the eyes of the two seemed to make the surrounding ninjas feel an undercurrent. It was as if the terrifying sea current that was about to erupt completely swallowed them up. And the next moment, in a split second, Naruto's 9 tails chakra mode is turned on. This time it was completely different from before. Golden rays of light erupted. Seeing this light, Sasuke's eyes lit up. It is this. That's what it feels like. It's a completely different feeling from before. Vibrant and full of vitality is a completely different feeling. Things like vitality don't seem to be of much help in combat. In addition to becoming more resistant to beatings, it is not so easy to be killed. It will actually bring new changes to chakra as well. This change is not very easy to explain. It is like strengthening chakra. Just like Sasuke's pupil technique has been strengthened, it is because of Indra chakra. Now Naruto's chakra is also enhanced. Only, it seems that it is not perfect, a little bit worse. Under such circumstances, Sasuke thought it was necessary for him to give Naruto another shot. Let his Ashura chakra fully awaken. Sasuke. The me now is completely different from before. Are you ready? Looking at Naruto as if dueling. Sasuke pursed his lips lightly, then raised his hand and threw the black stick instantly. A series of black thunderbolts exploded directly, turning into black snowballs. Swept straight in the direction of Naruto. Naruto raised his hand and threw kunai as well. Jingle, clang, clang. After the black stick of Kong Vice Admiral Sasuke was knocked down, Chakra's hand erupted in an instant, and then smashed the black thunderball that swept in front of him. See, Naruto has been able to easily block his own attack. It seems that ordinary attacks are useless to Naruto. Raise your hand and draw your knife. The moment the Kusanagi sword was unsheathed, thunder flashed, and Sasuke aimed his sword at Naruto's direction and slashed across the air. However, it looked like a knife cut out from the air. But the next second, when the blade fell, Sasuke appeared directly in front of Naruto. No sign. Pupil technique, heavenly hand power. Naruto's eyes contracted rapidly, and it was the same situation as before. When hold Sasuke's Kusanagi sword with kunai with one hand. The black thunder and the golden chakra collided fiercely. There was an astonishing ripple in an instant. Sasuke had a smile on his face. Nice power, you are indeed completely different from before, Naruto. Naruto also smiled. Now I'm catching up with you. Hearing this, Sasuke shook his head. It's a little bit worse. Just a little bit worse. Sasuke watched the rising resolution. Ashura chakra analysis. 86%, 88%, 90%. In just a few minutes, Sasuke will be able to fully master Ashura chakra. However, Naruto's own Ashura chakra does not seem to be fully awakened. Sasuke's hand suddenly exploded with power again, and the mighty chakra surged directly. With the explosion of the power of the Senju clan, Sasuke directly smashed Naruto into the air. Naruto, who flew upside down, was stunned for a second. When he wanted to stop, he suddenly found a black lightning directly above him. Lightning-style tilde operator Lei Shun body. Accompanied by the astonishing roar of thunder, Sasuke, who appeared directly above Naruto's head, stabbed straight down with a knife. Beep. The ground shook. Directly out of a huge pothole. Sasuke pulls out the Kusanagi sword, which explodes with black thunder from the rock. He looked up at Naruto, who hid aside. Response speed is also very good. Naruto just looked up and exhaled. Nine tails in the body is saying, Naruto, be careful, this guy's strength is not comparable to Uchiha Madara's, his strength is absolutely strong. Absolutely, it cannot be lowered. While talking, Sasuke formed a mudra with one hand, holding his sword finger and pointing directly in the direction of Naruto. Earth style, mountain soil technique, boom. The huge rocks rising directly on both sides crushed Naruto fiercely. Instinctively, Naruto opened his hands to support the rising rocks on both sides, but the sound of thunder and lightning sounded again in the next second. Holding the Kusanagi sword in his hand, Sasuke rushed in front of Naruto in an instant. Tsunade, who just got out of trouble in the distance, looked at Naruto's direction and exclaimed quickly. At this moment, the hand of chakra appeared, and Sasuke's Kusanagi sword slashed at Naruto head-on, but was caught by the hand of chakra empty-handed. Beep. Although the blade caught it, Sasuke's power was not so easy to catch. Especially for the current Sasuke, the moment the knife is drawn, the chakra in the body instantly transforms into boil-style chakra. An even more astonishing power erupted directly. One knife. Naruto's whole body sank into the ground, and even the rocks and soil on both sides were directly crushed by wolves. Bury Naruto completely in the ground more than deep. Being squeezed by the mud, the golden light in Naruto's eyes burst out continuously. At this time, Sasuke looked at the interface of the system. Already stuck at 99% of the progress. At this moment, it is fully increasing with the gesture of one digit behind the decimal point. Sasuke is also getting excited little by little now. Soon, it will be ready soon, 99.1%. 99.4%, 99.99%, just short of the last step, a Madara of the Sasuke wolf. The sand around the raised hand quickly swept down along the gap. And this scene made Tsunade stunned. Immediately after that, he rushed directly to Sasuke. Stop it, Sasuke. Tsunade knew exactly what Sasuke was going to do next. This trick 5th Kazekage has not been used less than Sasuke, this is what he wants. However, he had just rushed halfway, and in the next second, the wood-style Fujimon on both sides appeared again, directly binding Tsunade up out of thin air. Sasuke gave her a squinting look, don't get in my way. After speaking, continue to concentrate on dealing with Naruto below. And at this very moment, congratulations to host, successfully analyzed Ashura Chara. Get Ashura Chakra, Yangdan Nature Transformation level up. Yang Escape, 5, looking at the upgraded level, Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly. Finally. Breakthrough. Now both Yang Dun and Yin Dun have been raised to level 5. For a moment, Sasuke felt his body, as if ushered in a new life. What surprised Sasuke even more? Congratulations to host for successfully upgrading the Yin Yang dungeon to level 5. Comprehensive evaluation improvement, comprehensive evaluation. The strongest cage level ninja right pointing arrow fairy level ninja. Reward. One chance to use the ninjutsu laboratory, no time limit, no level limit, but only one technique can be developed. And this reward, this is simply double happiness. It's too late to feel the changes brought about by the new life of the body. Next second. Beep. In front of the place where Naruto was buried, an astonishing wave of chakra exploded directly. Immediately afterwards, an explosion and golden light emerged. Sasuke's figure was also completely swallowed up. Boom. Accompanied by a deafening terrifying roar. The astonishing chakra waves erupted by Naruto even resounded throughout the battlefield. And at this moment, in the light, Naruto looked at Sasuke in front of him in great surprise. The other party is absorbing the Look-On chakra. Sasuke, you. Congratulations to host for getting a copy of Nine Tails chakra. Yin Yang escape upgrade conditions, 39, chakra from 8 tails, 3 tails, and 9 tails has all been obtained. Now there are still left 1 tail, 2 tails, 4 tails, 5 tails, 6 tails, 7 tails. The chakra of 6-tailed beasts, but these chakra are all in Gedo statue's body. As long as it has not transformed into a sacred tree, you should be able to easily get these chakra. There is no need to worry. Now that the chakra of 9 tails has been successfully absorbed, the analysis of Ashura chakra has also been completed. So the next thing Sasuke has to do is to feel the changes in his body when Yang Dun is upgraded to level 5. In the next second, Sasuke's figure disappeared directly. Before leaving, Sasuke whispered to Naruto, "Good job, Naruto." After saying that, Sasuke disappeared. The moment the explosion ended, Naruto looked at the emptiness around him, and at the same time couldn't sense Sasuke's chakra. Naruto and Nine Tails are stunned. Is Uchiha Sasuke dead? Killed by your own chakra burst? Impossible. How could Sasuke die so easily? While Naruto was in a daze. The surrounding ninjas were dumbfounded, because they saw the chakra wave erupting from Naruto, directly engulfing Sasuke. At the same time, the terrifying golden chakra blasted a huge hole around it. This doesn't kill Sasuke. What is this? Moment. The surroundings became extremely quiet, as if there was no sound at all. Everyone silently stared at Naruto in front of them. The guy bathed in golden holy light, it turns out, killed the most talented Uchiha monster. Is this true? Many ninjas couldn't help rubbing their eyes frantically. So that after more than 10 seconds, someone in the group finally spoke. After making sure that I was not mistaken, I said something that I couldn't believe. This guy, really killed Uchiha Sasuke? The other ninjas around swallowed silently. The gaping mouth seemed to be unable to close. The gaze towards Naruto was completely dull. Really, it's true. Nine Tails Jinchuriki of Konoha, kill Uchiha Sasuke. What kind of power is this? Great Uchiha Sasuke got killed. The people who are most surprised at this moment are not those who witnessed this scene with their own eyes. Instead, Madara is controlling the Geto statue in conjunction with Obito. Uchiha Sasuke's chakra is gone. Obito, have you been killed? Hearing this, Madara shook her head. I don't know. But if it is really said that Sasuke was killed, Madara will never believe it. After all, he knows exactly how strong Sasuke is as a pervert. Who can kill Sasuke in this situation? But it's hard to say. At this moment Madara clearly felt the aura of Nine Tails, and at the same time, this aura was quite astonishing. Unbelievably powerful. What kind of monster is this that can burst out with such a level of chakra fluctuations? Even Uchiha Sasuke may not be able to reach this level. Regardless of whether Uchiha Sasuke is killed or not, we need to move faster. Not knowing what to say, Madara had a bad feeling. Naruto looked around at the ninjas flying up. He himself was a little taken aback. I really killed Uchiha Sasuke? Was Sasuke just killed by himself? Hero? Hero. You are the hero of the ninja world. All the ninjas began to surround Naruto in the middle, and Naruto was a little lost for a moment, although he did not reject this feeling. But, seems a little too big at the cost of killing Sasuke. And he didn't want to kill Sasuke at all, but now he is in deep self-blame. But the war is still going on, there is not much time for Naruto to mourn. And Naruto also doubts in his heart, is Sasuke dead, or gone? At the moment, it is in the underground base of Yinren village. Sasuke was kneeling in the middle of the huge training ground. His hands thumped the ground frantically. The depth of the deep pit that was smashed out on the ground continued to increase. A strong sense of vibration burst out continuously. Sasuke doesn't feel very painful now, but feels very comfortable. But it is precisely because of this feeling that Sasuke seems to have endless efforts that cannot be vented. I can only use such a simple and rude way to reduce this weird feeling as much as possible. The whole process lasted for tens of minutes before Sasuke stopped slowly. Lying in the pothole that I don't know how deep I was smashed. Panting heavily, Sasuke exhaled lightly. Raising his hand, he saw that the lines of his arm muscles were more plump. At the same time it doesn't seem exaggerated. And what surprised Sasuke even more was that the skin seemed to faintly reflect some kind of luster. It seemed to shine like suet jade, and even the skin color was faintly moving closer to the gray and white direction. This made Sasuke couldn't help but think of the Otsutsuki clan. I am getting stronger and stronger, will I finally become Otsutsuki family completely? Thinking of this, Sasuke felt a little disliked. But it's okay to think that the strength can be enhanced because of this. Get up Sasuke, do it now. Yin-Yang Dan's level increases, resulting in the most immediate changes, except for Sasuke's body. Another change is the change of Yin-Yang escape technique, creation technique. Yin-Yang escape, creation technique, Shaocheng. Can create lifeforms. Seeing this thing prompted by the system, a light flashed in Sasuke's eyes. Maybe give that idea a try. Sasuke has an idea if life can be created. The Sage of Six Paths in the original book, according to his Yin-Yang escape technique, used the chakra of 10 tails to create 9-tailed beasts. If you can also create a living body, then use your own body to symbolize the destruction of the infinite chakra. Can we also create an existence like a tailed beast? If there is a tailed beast, it will also greatly enhance the combat effectiveness. The battle commander with Naruto felt very clearly. The pure Nine Tails chakra does not actually help Naruto much. The important thing is that Nine Tails is helping Naruto. It can easily assist Naruto to mobilize chakra, perform attack or defense. At the level of Sasuke, or the level of a cage-level ninja, such a slight change is enough to affect the situation. So if it is possible to create a living body, then using the fire of chakra to create a tailed beast that belongs to itself seems to be a good idea. Try it. Create a new organism for Sasuke. There seems to be some kind of special feeling now. It's not such a difficult thing, but the problem is, I want to create a life form like a tailed beast. Then the first thing you need is chakra. And it is still quite a large amount of chakra, although in terms of chakra amount, Sasuke has infinite blue. But the problem is, just because Sasuke himself has this ability doesn't mean that the life forms he created can also have this ability. If you just have a certain level of chakra, and after using the light, there is no chakra. Or if you need to fully condense chakra, the help for Sasuke is basically equal to splitting things. It is useless for Sasuke to create a living body with the same function as the clone. If that's the case, there's no point in wasting time. The effect Sasuke wants is the life form created by, with endless chakra. No matter how bad it is, it can be like Nine Tails. With the help of natural energy, condense the magic chakra. Only in this way can we achieve the level Sasuke wants. However, it does not seem to be easy to do this. If it is simply to create an independent individual, then the chakra it possesses is actually Sasuke's chakra. And after using light there is none, and Sasuke has no other chakra. So trying to find a way on chakra is obviously not going to work. Then in creating this living body, what Sasuke can think of is to make a fuss about the spirit. In other words, if you can integrate a part of your own spiritual power, if you can make this life form and yourself reach a spiritual link. Just like the relationship between Pen and Nagato in Six Paths. The spiritual link can achieve the effect of transmitting chakra, which is not bad. One allows this living body to act independently of itself. At the same time, it can also seal the opponent into its own body, thus assisting oneself to control chakra, go to battle and more. In this way, one's own energy can be put into the battle more. Combat power will also be greatly improved. For the creation of life forms, Sasuke is going to give it a try first. As Sasuke begins, the other side, on the battlefield. Naruto, the hero, he is also expected by everyone. Now, while Sasuke was gone, the biggest threat was gone. But the threat from the Akatsuki organization is still there, and at the same time, the terrorist power of Gedo statue also makes the ninjas of the United Army have lingering fears. A random blow can easily harvest a large number of ninja lives. Even if there are a large number of ninjas in the coalition army, they cannot withstand several such attacks. At this moment, Seeing's state has reached its limit. Can't hold on anymore. In this case, Tsunade finally came. With the addition of Tsunade, the ninjas of the United Army have found the leader. No longer like a headless chicken, messing around. And at the same time Naruto also came here. Looking at the continuous and imposing White Zetsu army, cooperate with the ninja troops with impure world reincarnation and immortal bodies. The ninjas of the combined army have no advantage at all. It can only retreat steadily, coupled with the terrifying destructive power of Gedo statue. None of the ninjas of the United Army can resist. Damn. If this continues, sooner or later we will all be wiped out. The ninjas were very pale. Tsunade came to the forefront of the Ninja United Army, as the only shadow still fighting. Tsunade felt the pressure. Medical squad, take the wounded out of the battlefield as soon as possible. The sealing squad cooperates with the combat team to seal these ninjas from impure world reincarnation. As Tsunade gave orders one after another, the ninjas of the Ninja United Army quickly became orderly. Among them, elite jonins like Darui, Bai, Ching, and others also actively cooperated. The situation was barely stabilized, but in the face of Gedo statue's attack, the situation that had just been stabilized seemed shaky. Naruto watched the ninjas die one by one at the hands of Gedo statue. He chose to distribute his chakra to all the ninjas. Use it to protect them. However, although such an approach cannot be said to be wrong, it is definitely not a good approach. The best way to truly protect these people is to kill all the enemies. Otherwise, rely on the protection of the tailed beast chakra. What if the tailed beast chakra is exhausted? With the protection of Naruto's Nine Tails chakra, the ninjas regrouped and temporarily stabilized the situation. However, Madara and Obito won't make it easy for the combined ninjas. Then, time to show these guys the power of 10 tails. Said that the two of them sealed at the same time. While 3 tails chakra is missing now, 9 tails chakra just got apart from Namikaze Minato. Enough to 10 tail size the Gedo statue, Along with the seal of the two, Geto statue began to change, and his body began to expand. The first form of 10 tails appeared. Like a scrawny man with 10 tails, his movements are very irregular lying on the ground. It's not even like standing up. This is the first phase of 10 tails awakening. At this stage, 10 tails can already unleash the tailed beast bomb. Under the combined control of Madara and Obito, a tailed beast bomb exploded among the crowd of the United Ninja Army. This blow, it directly killed 100,000 people. And Naruto, who assigned chakra to protect these people, froze on the spot. One hit, so many people died, he failed to protect these people. Thinking of this, Naruto fell into deep self-blame. And at this very moment, in Orochimaru's underground base, Sasuke looked at the man in front of him who looked like a miniature version. The life form condensed by chakra has perfectly established a spiritual link with itself. This thing also has the ability to dominate the chakra contained in the chakra fire. It really worked, but split a part of your own spirit. It is not an easy task for Sasuke, and if there is no accident, such a thing can only be done once. The second time, I'm afraid, it's impossible. Sasuke is not God continuously splitting his spirit, which is equivalent to tearing his soul apart. Sasuke can't stand such a toss. You, daughter called Zailing King. Tailed beast or something, this life body created by myself is far stronger than the tailed beast. Being called the Spirit King is more imposing. Integrating the Spirit King into his body, Sasuke instantly felt the difference. With the help of the living body Spirit King, Sasuke can release ninjutsu directly with a single thought. No mudras required, no doubts about the chakra process. Because this process is all completed by the Spirit King in the body. At the same time, the existence of the Spirit King is equivalent to opening up a channel again, the chakra that burst out from the chakra fire. Originally relied on Sasuke to output alone. Now there is one more, and the Spirit King can also assist Sasuke in output. In other words, the maximum output power is multiplied by 2. The combat power will naturally increase. Looking ahead, Sasuke's eyes flickered, and a ray of light burst out suddenly. Immediately after that, a bolt of lightning appeared out of thin air, directly towards the place where Sasuke's eyes were looking at, and struck fiercely. In an instant, a huge hole was directly blasted on the ground. Then the storm swept through. Sasuke felt the wind blowing against his face. Smiled lightly. Cool. It's so cool. This kind of feeling, you don't need to do it yourself, just a thought, and the attack will come directly. This is not just like the Otsutsuki family, which directly lost the concept of art, it directly touched the source of power. One thought can release any ninjutsu. This is not a little bit for the improvement of combat effectiveness. The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. At this moment, Sasuke suddenly thought of something. The source of power. Correct. I still have a chance to use the ninjutsu laboratory, so why not use it to test this idea? Thinking of this, a brighter smile appeared on Sasuke's face. Enter into the ninjutsu laboratory, still the same as always. Although Sasuke feels like he hasn't gotten this reward for a long time. But getting this reward again today means that he will become even more terrifying again. Breath of thunder, lightning style, discharge, etc. are all techniques developed by Sasuke in the ninjutsu laboratory. The power of these techniques far exceeds that of ordinary ninjutsu. Even the original C-level ninjutsu, lightning style discharge, has now fully grown to the power of an S-level ninjutsu. At the same time, even in the hands of Sasuke, it has the power far surpassing the power of S-rank ninjutsu. A spell can make Sasuke get a thunder fruit. Although it cannot be elementalized, it is already very strong. And now, no level limit, no time limit, just require that only one game can be developed. Then this technique is naturally not that simple. And just that thought. The source of power reminded Sasuke of a terrifying ability. It is also a reference to the ability in a certain anime in the previous life. This ability is called Divine Spirit. If you can pass the ninjutsu laboratory, you can create this technique in this world. Then it would be scary. You must know that no matter how powerful a person is in the ninja world, chakra is unavoidable in the end. Even Sasuke and Naruto who sealed Kagaya in the end. In the end, they each use the attack formed by the terrifying amount of chakra to decide the outcome. It stands to reason that the ninja world has something like truth-seeking ball, which can already ignore all ninjutsu attacks. But people with the power of 6 paths cannot be hurt by the truth-seeking ball, and can touch the seeking ball at the same time. For others, the power of 6 paths may be a very mysterious thing. But for Sasuke, he already knows what the power of the so-called 6 paths is. It is nothing more than a kind of power inherent in the so-called Otsutsuki family, and this weak of this power is probably related to Yin-Yang Dun. Now Sasuke's Yin-Yang Dun has been promoted to level 5, and he has faintly touched the level of 6 paths power. Perhaps when Yin-Yang Dun is upgraded to level 6, he can automatically master the power of the so-called 6 paths. As for the next level, Sasuke doesn't know if there is one. But the power of 6 paths comes from the use of Yin-Yang Dun in the final analysis. It just forms a certain kind of chakra energy, so it can guarantee that the person who owns it will not be hurt by the truth-seeking ball. Able to easily touch the truth-seeking ball. So there is a big difference between the gods that Sasuke wants to develop and the truth-seeking ball. Because what Sasuke wants is to restore all chakra to its original state. In other words, even the truth-seeking ball can be restored. This is the effect Sasuke wants. Truth-seeking ball is nothing more than a combination of various chakra and Yin-Yang Dun. As long as chakra is involved, then it should be possible to tease it back to its original form. The initial appearance of chakra, to Sasuke, is just a mass of energy that can be absorbed at will. If this technique can really be developed, then, can be regarded as truly invincible. Even facing Otsutsuki Kagaya, Sasuke has no fear at all. The Otsutsuki family is essentially the use of chakra, and if Sasuke can rely on the ninjutsu laboratory to develop this technique, then there is really only one way to defeat Sasuke. Gymnastics. Pure gymnastics. Even the 8 inner gates are not good, because they can still be combed back to the original by Sasuke. In other words, forcibly shut down the 8 inner gates, bringing it back to its normal state. Thus, if you want to beat Sasuke purely by physical skills, even Sage of 6 Paths, and the guy on the moon, plus Otsutsuki Kagaya, can't beat Sasuke. Of course Sasuke can't beat the other side either. Because it is one thing to be able to block the opponent's attack, but it is another matter to be able to cause effective damage to the enemy. But no matter what, it is much, much better to be invincible first, and then to talk about other things. Let's start. Sasuke spoke to the void in the darkness. Ninjutsu labs sprang into action immediately. Today's Sasuke has mastered at least 80% of ninjutsu in the ninja world. It is simply a living ninjutsu encyclopedia. The ninjutsu laboratory draws on Sasuke's ninjutsu knowledge, and on this basis, deduces the gods that Sasuke wants. It shouldn't be a problem. If you regard all ninjutsu and blood succession limits as data, then there are quite a lot of data in Sasuke's brain seas. Based on this deduction, it can definitely be deduced. However, the time displayed in front of Sasuke in the next second made Sasuke stunned. It will take time to deduce this technique, 1045 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Looking at the desperate time, Sasuke froze for a moment. Does it take so long to realize this technique? This is a ninjutsu laboratory. If it were my own full of attempts, I'm afraid it will take more than 30 years, it is nearly 30 times the above time. But this ninjutsu laboratory did not limit Sasuke's time, so Sasuke frowned. Then sit down straight away. Wait. Nothing but waiting. Then wait. Anyway, the time in the ninjutsu laboratory passed quite quickly compared to the outside. The month inside is probably only equivalent to 1 minute outside. In other words, it is only half an hour for the outside world. That's a pretty good idea. But not for Sasuke, this is literally more than 1,000 days. Just sit there. Why not just try to cultivate in the laboratory? In this way, at least Sasuke won't be bored to death. Is this also the tailed beast bomb? How could the power be so terrifying? The ninjas looked at the 10 tails who were approaching little by little. Not to mention the chilling appearance, even its chakra fluctuations are unprecedentedly terrifying. Meanwhile, a second tailed beast bomb is in the works. Just the first tailed beast bomb has directly made these ninjas completely lose their fighting spirit. What are you kidding about fighting such a monster? Fight with what? Fight with your head. Countless ninjas stood still in place, and more ninjas began to cry involuntarily, and fled towards the rear frantically. Even in the case of Tsunade and Huang, there is no way. Not to mention whether she has the ability to block it, only 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama stood in front of her. Just leave Tsunade completely unmoved. At the same time, other cage-level ninjas such as 3rd Raikage, 4th Kazekage, 2nd Tsuchikage, and 2nd Mizukage have powerful combat power. Directly rushing into the crowd of the coalition army, killing crazily, under such circumstances, the momentum of the coalition army just reviving suffered a strong blow. Coupled with 10 tails tailed beast bomb, it completely defeated the momentum of the combined army. 100,000 ninjas were annihilated in an instant, although 100,000 people are only less than half of the ninjas of the coalition army. But the blow to morale is extremely huge. Damn. Give it to me. Get out. Beep. The strange power fist broke out, and a large number of ninja troops surrounded by white Zetsu were about to be wiped out. However, little Sakura suddenly appeared and killed all these white Zetsu with one punch. With little Sakura's control over chakra, plus the strange power fist taught by Tsunade, the combat effectiveness has indeed improved a lot. The ninjas stared at the little girl in front of them dumbfounded. Do they have such strength at such an age? Naruto looked at the one-sided combined army. Now he feels like he can't do anything. Chakra from Nine Tails, it seems that you are this year's Nine Tails Jinchuriki backquote. Suddenly a voice sounded, and Senju Hashirama appeared in front of Naruto. And at the moment Hashirama didn't hit Naruto. Instead, when he raised his hand, wood-style Fujiman erupted instantly, and wiped out all the ninjas around Naruto. There was a scream, and Naruto froze for a moment. Turn back. Looking at the ninjas lying in a pool of blood. Naruto felt even more guilty. If he hadn't been in a daze just now, maybe. As the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, you have great power and have far surpassed these people. How to give people the look of giving up completely. Even ordinary ninjas are still fighting. What are you doing? Five Tails history. Hashirama's words brought Naruto back to his senses. He looked at Hashirama in front of him, Lord First Hokage. You are right. Now is indeed not the time to be in a daze. If you can save one more person, save one more person. Naruto regained the fighting spirit in his eyes. Seeing Naruto's eyes, Hashirama nodded in satisfaction. No matter when, never give up. As he spoke, Third Raikage sneered, snort. What if you don't give up? The strength of those two guys is simply not something that the ninjas of the United Army can fight against. Third Raikage also seems to have given up, although as Cloud Shinobi's movie, he really wants the Combine to win from the bottom of his heart. But now this situation is really impossible. He couldn't see any hope at all. The strength of the enemy is completely overwhelming. Don't you think you, Cloud Shinobi's ninja, can defeat the enemy? Hashirama is very dissatisfied with this attitude of giving up halfway. However, Third Raikage smiled. The gap in strength is too great, and the combat power is not equal at all. If there is someone in the current ninja world who can block these two guys, I'm afraid there's only that kid from before called Uchiha Sasuke. Hearing what Third Raikage said, Naruto froze for a moment. Sasuke seemed to have been killed by himself. Boom boom boom. While talking suddenly, the ground began to move crazily. Feeling an unusual vibration. This familiar feeling of vibration could not be more clear to everyone present. This is clearly the news that a large army is coming here. And there are so many, definitely, a terrifying number. The surrounding ninjas stopped one after another. Even Obito and Madara were stunned for a moment, controlling Chienwei to temporarily stop moving forward. Everyone looked around, because the roar was too weird. Dense roaring sounds came from all directions. What is this? Next second, on the hilltop in the distance, dense black shadows suddenly appeared. The ninja who saw this scene immediately raised his hand and pointed in that direction. Is that the reinforcements? Hearing that all the ninjas looked in that direction one after another, there were dense black shadows that could not be seen at a glance, turning over from the other side of the mountain one after another. Quickly rushed towards the battlefield here. Madara and Obito were also stunned. Could there be other ninja troops? At this time, in the forest towards Yinin village on the other side, there are also dense black shadows flickering. In this situation, a large number of unidentified people were soon discovered to be approaching. It seems, it completely surrounded the entire battlefield. However, tens of seconds later, when these people approached, both Ninja and Madara and Obito were stunned. These are not some ninja troops who came to support them, but wood-style Tianshi. Thick wooden golem soldiers, and even a huge wooden golem, only slightly smaller than the real wooden golem by 2/3. There are also many wooden dragons, but these wood-style soldiers have black sticks on their bodies. Obviously manipulated. But what a terrifying control force is needed. What a huge amount of energy to be able to control this amount of wood-style army at the same time. Even if you take a casual look, I'm afraid the number is no less than 300,000. In this case, even Madara was completely shocked. Are these armies created by Uchiha Sasuke alone? That guy. Is he dead? Or not dead? Madara felt something was wrong and pregnant now. But soon another person came who caught his attention. Three Tails Jinchuriki, Kimimaro. A smile appeared on Madara's face. Three Tails Jinchuriki appeared. Obito nodded. The number of wood-style troops is really scary, but the reappearance of the Three Tails Jinchuriki is the best thing for us. Madara. While Uchiha Sasuke is missing, let's go first and capture 3 tails. After speaking, Madara disappeared directly. Obito smiled. Once the chakra of 3 tails is absorbed by 10 tails, then it is time to start the final plan. Hundreds of thousands of wood-style soldiers appear. These wood-style soldiers, who were controlled as if they didn't know the tiredness at all, faced the direction of the White Zetsu army. Like a dense colony of ants, it rushed past crazily. In the blink of an eye, it swept like a flood. The ninjas of Impure World Reincarnation watched the wood-style troops sweeping in like a tide. Everyone seemed to be stunned. He looked dumbfounded. What are these things? Why are there so many of them? Is it also an army created by some kind of secret technique? Even if it is an army created by secret techniques, this number is too much. Fortunately, they have fully understood their current bodies, and they will not be killed at all. Otherwise, if you face such a situation while you are alive, your legs will tremble from fright. A charge. Accompanied by the wood-style soldiers of the vanguard, they rushed into the crowd of White Zetsu's army. Almost a large number of White Zetsu were killed by wood-style soldiers in an instant. And seeing this scene, Obito was also very surprised. He is very aware of this control method through the black stick, although he can control every puppet body very precisely. But the difficulty of controlling is quite large. As strong as Nagato, it can only control 6 paths pain at the same time at most, and even in some specific cases, will have a control gap. 6 paths pain's reaction couldn't keep up with the actual combat situation. Yes, Sasuke. How did he manage to control hundreds of thousands of puppets at the same time? And there are also huge puppets such as wooden dragons and wooden golem. Looking at these controlled puppets, this is equivalent to forcibly splitting one's spiritual power into hundreds of thousands of shares. Is this what the human soul can bear? Even a god would have died of schizophrenia long ago. Obito couldn't understand how Sasuke did it. Seeing that the one-sided situation is happening to him now, the White Zetsu army has encountered so many enemy charges, it is not an opponent of the same level at all. Completely vulnerable, even the ninja forces of the Impure World Reincarnation were completely irresistible. After all, there are too many enemies. At this moment, the ninjas of the coalition army stood in place, watching the wood-style army passing by all around. They all trembled. All. An army created by Uchiha Sasuke. How could there be such a scale in quantity? I thought that the previous nearly 100,000 wood-style soldiers were all there. But now it seems that is far from the limit. This is also too much. The power of a single person is really comparable to that of an army. Is this Uchiha Sasuke? The ninjas are now completely overwhelmed by Sasuke's power. The strength of one person can fight against the entire ninja world. Uchiha Sasuke, he didn't just say such arrogant words. And it actually did it. If these wood-style soldiers attack them, I'm afraid even they are unable to resist. Not to mention these armies of White Zetsu. Although White Zetsu's strength is not weak, it is far behind Sasuke's wood-style soldiers. Beep. Boom. Boom. Suddenly a red light exploded in the crowd of wood-style's army. The flames of the explosion instantly swallowed hundreds of thousands of wood-style soldiers. Everyone looked in the direction of the attack outbreak. Sure enough, it was Tiano. Tailed Beast Bomb from 10 Tails. Release Tailed Beast Bomb in such a densely populated place, the destructive power and lethality are truly reflected in the most perfect way. With just one hit, Sasuke's wood-style soldiers were reduced by a third. If such an attack happens again, the ninjas of the combined army swallowed silently. Also can't stop it. This is the Tailed Beast, and this is the power to destroy the world. And the person who now controls this power is the Shao organization. Such an organization that was trying to destroy the world. When the ninjas looked at the huge 10 Tails, their hearts were full of panic and uneasiness. The 5 wooden dragons rushed towards 10 Tails in an instant, as if trying to trap 10 Tails. However, before rushing to the front of 10 Tails, they were blocked one after another. Third Raikage knocked out a wooden dragon with one blow. The gold dust from the 4th Kage Luosha on both sides also strangled 2 wooden dragons. In the last second Tsuchikage and second Mizukage, the picture has dealt with a wooden dragon. 5 wooden dragons were held back, and Kimimaro in the crowd frowned. If 10 Tails is allowed to go on like this, it is obvious that Master Sasuke's wood-style army will be completely wiped out in a short time. That's not okay. 10 Tails had to be shot and held back. At least let the wood-style army completely solve the White Zetsu army first. Many of them are clones of Master Sasuke, and their fighting power is comparable to that of elite Jonin. Dealing with the Akatsuki organization is no problem at all. And after that, they will have to deal with the Ninja United Army, although their current strength is not very good. But it is also a threat that cannot be ignored. Kimimaro glanced at Chongo beside him, and Chongo understood what Kimimaro meant. Hastily began to command the wood-style soldiers to attack in an orderly manner while spreading them out as much as possible. Don't cluster together, as the tailed beast bomb will be able to kill far fewer wood-style soldiers in one go. At the same time, Kimimaro himself directly dispatched with 3 wooden golems and 4 wooden dragons, heading towards 10 tails in a straight line. Kimimaro raised his hand and slapped wooden golem's head hard under his feet. Suddenly his dead bone pulse, the resulting bone, penetrates wooden golem's body. Bone armor forms on the wooden golem's body. Facing attacks from all over the place, wooden golem easily blocked it with his bone armor. At the same time, Kimimaro added this bone armor to other wooden golems and wooden dragons, without hindering their actions. The defense power is enhanced, and the bone armor can also enhance the attack power. Kimimaro looked up at the approaching 10 tails. There was a cold light in his eyes. This thing is the 10 tails master, Sasuke said. I will not let you continue to attack the wood-style army unscrupulously. Kimimaro, who was thinking about it, suddenly felt an extremely strong killing intent coming from behind him. Beep. With a sudden blow, a wooden golem beside him was chopped into 2 halves. In the case of bone armor, it can even defeat wooden golem in an instant. Who is the guy here? The person who made the shot was naturally Madara. Under the power of Susanoo, wooden golem is still useless even with the protection of bone armor. Directly defeated in an instant, Madara's eyes locked on Kimimaro. One jumped up and attacked Kimimaro from behind, but 3 tails chakra broke out, and Kimimaro directly turned on the spell seal mode. Block Madara's attack. When they played against each other, Madara was very surprised. Not bad power. Chakra of 3 tails is also very proficient in using it. This blood inheritance limit is quite rare. This is Kirigakir's dead bone pulse. Kimimaro. Just no, don't get in my way. After speaking, Kimimaro raised the bone blade in his hand and went straight to Madara. Although your strength is still immeasurable, compared to me, you are still too young, kid. Boom. A red light flashed across the sky. Dead bone pulse, 10 fingers bone bullets wrapped in tailed beast chakra shot out from Kimimaro's fingertips. On the other side, Madara, who was jumping randomly in the air, held a black stick in one hand, and bounced all the bone bullets that were shot in the face. Facing Kimimaro's attack, Madara faced head-on without fear. Relying on Susanoo to easily overwhelm Kimimaro. Even if Junma possesses 3 tails chakra, plus the curse seal chakra, it is not Madara's opponent at all in terms of strength. Boom, boom. Intense roars in the sky wave after wave. Madara looked at Junmaru, who was frowning tightly and solemnly. As expected of the Jinchuriki of 3 tails, the strength is so strong. It's really tricky for a person to catch you quickly. Saying that, Madara smiled. And Kimimaro looked at Madara coldly. If you want to defeat me, it's up to you. Don't even try to do it easily. Such words made Madara smile and nodded. You are right. It's true that I alone can't succeed easily. But on this battlefield, I'm not the only one. Swish. In an instant, second Hokage Senju Tobirama appeared behind Kimimaro, and in an instant, 2 kunai pierced through Kimimaro's body. The moment Kimimaro felt the pain and wanted to fight back, Madara's black stick pierced directly into Kimimaro's body. Puff. A mouthful of blood spurted out. Kimimaro stared at Madara in front of him with wide eyes. The weapon in this guy's hand, like Master Sasuke, can disturb his own chakra. Let yourself have chakra, but you can't break out at all. Can't move at all. Kimimaro. Suddenly Chongo's voice sounded, and at this time, Chongo, who came late, fired the chakra cannon directly. However, in Madara's eyes, such an attack, sealing printing. Absorbing directly and instantly, this operation stopped Zhongwu, who came over. Absorbed? Damn, this guy can absorb ninjutsu attacks? Zhongwu's face became much uglier, and if he could absorb ninjutsu attacks, then his strength would be crippled by more than half. It is almost impossible to save Kimimaro from the opponent. Take him, because give it to the king, Madara said. Second Hokage Senju Tobirama, although his face was very ugly, there was nothing he could do. The Flying Thunder God technique was activated instantly, bringing Kimimaro directly in front of Obito. Obito looked at Kimimaro in front of him. 3 tails are here too, so now. The last 9 tails is missing. Saying control 10 tails began to absorb Kimimaro's chakra. Feel the constant passing of chakra. But Kimimaro has nothing to do. The chakra of 3 tails is constantly being absorbed. If the chakra of 3 tails is absorbed, then he will die. Sage art, wind-style spiral shuriken, swish. Suddenly a violent chakra wave erupted in the sky. Spiral shurikens flew over the heads of White Zetsu's army, pointing at Tiano and Obito. Naruto made a move, trying to prevent the Three Tails Jinchuriki from being absorbed. Now this situation can be known even if you think about it with your ass. Once the chakra of Three Tails is completely absorbed, then the opponent's power will become even more terrifying. By then the situation will be even worse. However, Naruto only had time to unleash the blow. Then he was stopped by Senju Hashirama again, and the entwined wood-style Fujiman made Naruto helpless. You can only take care of yourself first, and in the air. All ninjas looked at the spiral shuriken that swept away. The astonishing chakra fluctuations really amazed many people. If this blow hits the enemy, then Three Tails Jinchuriki, chakra will definitely be interrupted if it is absorbed. Pity. This hit was destined to miss 10 tails. Because, suddenly, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, who flashed in the air, appeared. The moment he touched the wind-style spiral shuriken, Minato directly launched Flying Thunder God, instantly transferring the spiral shuriken away. Moment. The spiral shuriken that was astonishing in the last second disappeared directly in the next second. Everyone froze in place, staring blankly at the scene in front of them. At a loss. 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato reappeared, and looked helplessly at the ninjas of the combined army after landing. Sorry, Everyone just sighed silently, even though they knew that Minato and the others were controlled by the enemy, they still felt angry. What was once Konoha Hokage is now an enemy force. And it's such a powerful shadow. If it weren't for these shadows, the coalition army wouldn't be in such a miserable situation. Now Three Tails is about to be absorbed, and the opponent's strength will increase again. In this case, I'm afraid they are simply powerless to resist the enemy's attack. Kimimaro is in great pain now, half of the chakra of Three Tails has been sucked away, and his consciousness has gradually begun to blur. Sorry. Master Sasuke. It seems that this is the only way. The next second Kimimaro slowly closed his eyes. But in the darkness, Kimimaro suddenly felt his body become very relaxed. Chakra. No more passing. This is how the same thing. Opening his eyes, Kimimaro looked at the ground around him, lying on a clearing. What's happening here? The ninjas of Impure World Reincarnation, who were fighting fiercely, fought one after another. At this moment, it was like 7 people holding swords, no longer looking at their hands. My body. Recovered? I seem to be able to control my body on my own. An Impure World Reincarnation ninja said so, but so did other Impure World Reincarnation ninjas. They stopped their attacks and saw that the ninjas were killed. This is how the same thing. At that moment just now, it seemed that 2nd Hokage and 4th Hokage rescued Three Tails Jinchuriki? On the battlefield, the expressions of Madara and Daigon suddenly changed. They looked around at the Impure World Reincarnation ninjas who had stopped fighting completely. Obito's face suddenly became a little gloomy. And Madara also laughed. Looks like that guy was found. Ha ha ha. Standing in a certain cave at this moment, Orochimaru, feeling all the ninjas being reincarnation by Impure World, frowned. No Uchiha Madara feeling. It seems that Uchiha Madara may have been Impure World reincarnation by someone else, or he has lifted his own Impure World reincarnation. Release yourself? What do you mean? Itachi asked. Orochimaru smiled. It means that Madara, who is in the state of Impure World reincarnation, has become her own caster. Can it still be like this? Itachi sighed silently. Fortunately, everyone else is free now. Orochimaru nodded and looked at two who had fallen into the endless illusion. Thanks to two, use my chakra Impure World reincarnation these people. Otherwise, I still can't take over his role as the caster. Itachi nodded. Now. The battle situation should be reversed. It is only natural that the situation of the war will turn around. Itachi also felt lucky about this, and luckily brought Orochimaru to him. Otherwise, the current situation is quite bad. Fortunately, this guy named Yakushi Kabuto actually transplanted Orochimaru's cells. Basically the chakra used for Impure World reincarnation is the chakra of Orochimaru. Because in this way, the ninjas of Impure World reincarnation can be controlled more effectively. After all, with Yakushi Kabuto's talent, it is not so easy to master such difficulties as Impure World reincarnation in a short time. Not everyone is Uchiha Sasuke. Talent is equally important, otherwise Orochimaru's Impure World reincarnation, which has been researched for so many years, would be too stretched. Anyone can easily master it. Actually still need to rely on Orochimaru's cells, and Orochimaru's chakra. This also allows Orochimaru to succeed Yakushi Kabuto as the caster. Then? Now Mr. Itachi is going to see the battlefield. Hearing this, Itachi was stunned for a moment. Don't you need to control these ninjas from impure world reincarnation? Orochimaru shook his head helplessly. It's not that I can't control it, but I can't control it. I can barely maintain the state of their impure world reincarnation, although I took over the role of the caster. But this guy, impure world reincarnation, has too many ninjas. He has the magic chakra, so he can easily control it. But Orochimaru does not have Senju chakra. It's hard to master so many impure world reincarnation ninjas. It can be lifted, but Itachi hopes that these ninjas will become the combat power of the combined army. So naturally it cannot be undone. If you can't control it, wouldn't it be? It is possible that some of the impure world reincarnation ninjas will still become enemies, and even flee indiscriminately. Hokage from impure world reincarnation and the others, their combat power is quite rare. Having said this, Itachi also nodded. Indeed, with the help of Konoha's Hokage, it would be great for the Ninja United Army. By the way, I can't feel the chakra of 3rd Raikage, 4th Kazekage, 2nd Tsuchikage, and 2nd Mizukage. There is someone else who wants to come to impure world reincarnation. Someone else? Who else would cast impure world reincarnation? Hearing this, Orochimaru smiled. Your brother, Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke can also do impure world reincarnation? However, it's unlikely to be Sasuke's technique. Itachi nodded. Indeed, if it was Sasuke's technique, then it would not be like this. So who will it be, on the battlefield? The impure world reincarnation ninjas who had regained their freedom now looked at each other, not knowing what to do for a while. And this time, Senju Hashirama's voice sounded. So the ninjas who have died. You are now free. It seems that among our descendants, there are also powerful guys who have released us from the shackles. Now that we have regained our freedom, maybe we should make some compensation for the trouble we just added. Even if we die, we can still make a history for our village. Many of the impure world reincarnation ninjas have turned their heads towards the White Zetsu army. Seeing this scene, Madara's face became extremely gloomy. Let alone a sudden betrayal, and inciting other ninjas, Madara will not let Hashirama get his wish. Listen up, all impure world reincarnation ninjas. Hashirama asked you to contribute, just to use you. When the war is over, you will return to the Pure Land. And if you choose to help us now, then I, Uchiha Madara, promise here to help you resurrect. No matter how bad it is, you can live forever in the ninja world with your current posture. How? Survive in the ninja world with the current posture. And that's terrific. The bodies of their impure world reincarnation are simply immortal. Golden Horn and Silver Horn. Ha ha ha. Can you survive in the ninja world forever with this attitude? Good. If you can really do it, then we will help you. Golden Horn, Silver Horn, you two bastards. Cloud Shinobi's ninja looked at the two with anger. If before, they were forced to be controlled, then now it is their own choice. These guys, even after they are dead, still commit crimes. Simply hateful. Hashirama looked at the impure world reincarnation ninjas split into two lineups. I sighed silently in my heart, as expected of you, Madara. That's a lot of impure world reincarnation ninjas. Everyone has selfish desires, and how many people can see through them completely? These guys are all attracted by the temptation of immortality. It's not good to go on like this, but overall the situation is still very good. Hash Lama. Now I finally have a chance to fight you. Seeing such a situation, Madara seemed very excited. However, Obito's face was quite ugly. Madara fights Hashirama, and Obito tries to stop it, but Senju Hashirama is a tough guy himself. It's good that Madara can hold him back, but the problem is that the situation is getting more and more complicated now. Although Three Tails can't fully absorb it, but also got a part of Three Tails chakra, Nine Tails also can't fully absorb it, but 10 Tails already has 9 Tails chakra. Becoming 10 Tails is perfectly possible, but there will be some slight flaws, but the current situation seems to be beyond the possibility of him continuing to procrastinate. The speed of White Zetsu's death is getting faster and faster. If there is no way, these ninjas who are going to assist their own impure world reincarnation, if they also escape. Then the situation became more difficult, simply. Fortunately, 3rd Raikage, 4th Kazekage, 2nd Tsuchikage and Mizukage are all controlled by Nagato. Now that Nagato is under the control of Black Zetsu, the fighting power of the four barely makes the current situation less ugly. It seems that I have to start as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Obito closed his eyes, concentrated on controlling the 10 tails under his feet. 10 tails began to enter the second state, and 10 tails' body began to grow larger. The originally skinny body seemed to swell up. Although part of the tail beast chakra is missing, most of the chakra has returned to 10 tails after all. 10 tails began to wake up officially, in order to make up for the lack of combat power. Obito began to control 10 tails, creating split bodies, and these split bodies strengthened their combat effectiveness by every day. Let the situation be under control for the time being. Even Sasuke's wood-style army couldn't continue to attack for a while, and continued to advance. When 10 tails fully awakens, Obito will immediately absorb 10 tails and become 10 tails Jinchuriki. Creating the ideal world he imagined, that's what Obito wants to do. And the ideal world in my imagination is a world with Lin. United Ninja Army. Everyone. Tsunade looked at the ninjas behind him. Now join forces with wood-style soldiers to eliminate the Akatsuki organization, Uchiha Sasuke's problem, and talk about it later, now. To solve this guy as soon as possible. The power of the tailed beast is absorbed by that thing. If this continues, the world will be destroyed by them. We absolutely will not allow such a thing to happen. With the emergence of split bodies, the battle situation began to enter a stalemate stage. The 4 Hokages of Konoha have all regained their freedom. They can act on their own will. Immediately the situation was different. But Obito also has half of the ninjas from Impure World Reincarnation, as well as Tsuchikage and Mizukage from 3rd Raikage, 4th Kazekage, and 2nd Generation. Let the 4 out against Hokage's 4. Among them, the contest between Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara has begun. 2 former legends, the battle between legends and legends, other ninjas simply can't intervene. And the remaining 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama on the other side, against 3rd Raikage. The 2 are old rivals. 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, against 4th Kazekage, the 2 are also shadows of the same period. 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, fighting 2nd Tsuchikage. The remaining 2nd Mizukage is in charge of 5th Hokage Tsunade. 4 Hokages, fighting 4 shadows from other villages. Such a situation made the ninjas excited. When did so many cage-level ninjas break out in a fight of this scale? Konoha's ninjas are the proudest, and now it's their Konoha's Hokage who are trying to turn the tide. From the 1st generation item to the current 5th generation item. All Hokages are here. We don't know if it's lucky or unlucky. A Konoha ninja spoke, but the other ninjas frowned. Lucky? If you're lucky, you won't encounter such a war. Speaking of which, everyone else was speechless. Konoha's ninjas don't think so. 5th Hokage, fighting at the same time, I'm afraid I won't have the chance to see such a scene from now on. This is the luck of us Konoha shinobi, but it is the misfortune of the entire ninja world. Speaking of other ninjas, they all sighed silently. Why don't they want the shadow of their own family to appear on the battlefield and turn the tide like Konoha Hokage? But it's a pity that the other party doesn't have Impure World Reincarnation in their ancestors at all. And even if reincarnated, it is simply not comparable to Konoha's Hokage. After all, the further forward Konoha's Hokage is, the more terrifying the power of Hokage. Especially the 1st generation project, which calmed the troubled times and made the shadows of other villages dare not have any opinions. Okay, let's focus on dealing with the enemy. Speaking of the ninjas of the United Ninja Army, they all quickly joined the team to fight against the White Zetsu Army and the 10 Tails split body. The battle situation seemed stalemate for a while. And this time, before I knew it, half an hour had passed. This time, Sasuke also finally came out of the ninjutsu lab. In the underground base, Sasuke slowly opened his eyes, and in those eyes, it seemed as if he could see the starry sky deeply. The light emitted from the reincarnation Sharingan of the left eye is also somewhat different. It seems that Sasuke can see far away at a glance. At this time, around Sasuke's body, there were some kind of strange white filaments of light floating around. Sasuke moved his hand slowly, a thought. A flame burst out directly in front of Sasuke. Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly, and Guyu turned slightly. Immediately afterwards, white silk threads that were difficult to see with the naked eye appeared in the fireball, cutting the fireball from the middle. In a blink of an eye, the fireball turned into chakra and dissipated. Seeing this, Sasuke had a smile on his face. The effect is very satisfying to him. God Spirit. Successful. In an instant, the fireball that had become a magic state was directly restored to the original shape of chakra. Just for a moment. Let chakra, who has completed nature transformation, return to its original appearance again. That's the heaven-defying trick developed this time from ninjutsu lab. At the same time, the jutsu this time is very strange. It is no longer ninjutsu for Sasuke. Instead, merge into Sasuke's reincarnation Sharingan. The size of the power is determined by the pupil force. In other words, the current God Spirit is here with Sasuke, so it should be called differently. Should be called Pupil Technique, God Spirit. A single glance is capable of obliterating any chakra form attack, restoring it to its original form. At the same time, the Spirit King in the body has also mastered more changes of chakra with the help of the ninjutsu laboratory in more than 1,000 days. It is equivalent to becoming a super chip with no emotion and only thoughts, helping Sasuke control the power in his body. A God Spirit, a Spirit King. Sasuke's current strength has more than doubled. Now Sasuke is confident that even if he faces Otsutsuki Kagaya, he will not have any problems. Even if Kagaya cannot be defeated, it is enough to ensure that he will not be killed. No matter it's a seal or something, with the skill of the gods and spirits, it can be erased in an instant. Now Sasuke is invincible. The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. The next thing is to continue to improve the nature transformation level of Yin-Yang done. Get the blood of Otsutsuki, get the power of Otsutsuki, evolve again. Sasuke smiled. Suddenly, the body turned into a ball of lightning and disappeared as easily as the Shiki paper technique. Elementalize. This ability is so to speak. But it's not that Sasuke created any new technique, but did it with the help of the Spirit King. The Spirit King has mastered the hydration technique, and the technique is actually universal. It's just that different attribute methods are somewhat different. Sasuke has no kung fu research, but Lingwang can be Grandmaster. The body instantly turned into lightning and disappeared in the underground base. After the lightning flashed continuously, it came directly to the sky above Yin'an village. Sasuke looked at the direction of the battlefield and sensed the chakra fluctuations coming from the direction of the battlefield. For a moment, even a specific picture appeared in Sasuke's mind. It's been more than 1,000 days, and I'm finally back again. Obito is. Plan to start the metamorphosis of 10 tails? It seems that the timing of my appearance is just right. In the next second, Sasuke's figure disappeared directly. And at this moment on the battlefield, in the face of countless splinters, although the number of White Zetsu's army is already very small, the stronger splinter appeared. The 5 shadows are all held back. So much so that the battle between the split body and the Sasuke wood-style army and the Ninja United Army fell into a stalemate. With the transformation of 10 tails, the strength of the split body is getting stronger and stronger, and the balance is gradually broken. The current joint army ninjas are also beginning to feel the pressure. At the same time, they began to die continuously, and the situation changed again. With the number of splinters increasing, Naruto wants to break through to 10 tails. But there is no way to sit idly by the injured ninjas. Wants to protect them with his chakra. Instead, it delayed Naruto's progress. Watching Naruto's constant advances, Obito has already noticed him. HMPH. Do you want to get closer to me? 9 tails Jinchuriki. Then let you feel the power of 10 tails again. Although it is a bit reluctant to do so now, Obito has no choice. Take direct control of the 10 tails and begin to regroup the Tailed Beast Bomb. Tailed Beast Bomb bursts of light. Naruto was taken aback for a moment. Not good, he must be stopped, otherwise, I don't know how many people will die. But 10 tails gather Tailed Beast Bomb significantly faster. Almost a breath away and it's done. At this moment, Naruto looked back at the densely packed ninjas. No, I can't say anything this time. 9 tails chakra erupts. Chakra transforms into 9 tails appearance. Naruto prepares to block Tailed Beast Bomb by himself. Such behavior is simply courting death. See, Naruto seems to be trying to block his own Tailed Beast Bomb. Obito smiled. Although 9 tails are very powerful, they are nothing compared to 10 tails. Although the current 10 tails have not fully obtained the power of 9 tails and 3 tails. But 9 tails chakra absorbs 1/3, and 3 tails chakra absorbs half. Plus all chakras from 1 tail, 2 tails, 4 tails, 5 tails, 6 tails, 7 tails, 8 tails. The 10 tails formed are not much stronger than the original book, and the Tailed Beast Bomb that exploded cannot be blocked by Naruto simply approaching the 9 tails chakra. Even now Naruto has fully awakened Ashura chakra. Countless ninjas feel terrified under the oppression of Tailed Beast Bomb's terrifying chakra. Simply unable to make any response. Now that the Tailed Beast Bomb is about to explode, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato looks in the direction of the Tailed Beast Bomb. No way, if this continues, once the Tailed Beast Bomb falls into the crowd of the coalition army, how many people will die in an instant? Naruto can't resist hard, only I can remove it instantly. Thinking of this, Namikaze Minato intends to make a move. Unfortunately, at this moment, Jin Zhao and Yin Zhao suddenly appeared. Using the fairy artifact left by Sage of Six Paths to deal with Minato accidentally, Minato was actually sucked into the gourd. Darui froze for a moment. Damn. No matter how strong the enemy is, this thing can directly seal the enemy as long as a certain condition is met. Now fourth Hokage is temporarily imprisoned in the gourd. On the other side, second Hokage Senju Tobirama also had the same idea as Minato. But he was also too late. After all, second-generation Senju Tobirama's opponent is the equally powerful third Raikage. The opponent's lightning-style chakra mode is indeed very difficult. So much so that he missed the best time to make a shot, waiting until the moment he escaped the attack of third Raikage. This moment Ten Tails' tailed beast bomb has launched. Boom. A deep roar sounded, like a beast suddenly roaring. Ripples suddenly burst out from Ten Tails' mouth. The formed whirlwind pill accompanied the tailed beast bomb, and while it spread instantly, it also seemed to accelerate the tailed beast bomb. Let the tailed beast bomb be shot out with an acceleration. A split second. It quickly scrolled in the direction of Naruto. Naruto's forehead was dripping with sweat. When he really felt the chakra wave of the tailed beast bomb, it made him understand how terrifying Tianwei's power really is. If you want to block this blow, I'm afraid, it's simply impossible. He gritted his teeth fiercely, and then looked at the tailed beast bomb that was already supporting him. Naruto grabbed the tailed beast bomb firmly with both hands. At this moment he had only one thought: die and die. Even if you die, you have to block this thing. Under the watchful eyes of countless ninjas, the tailed beast bomb swept over. Can this thing really be blocked? But if it can't be stopped, how many ninjas here will die? The destructive power caused by the tailed beast bomb explosion is unparalleled. At least 100,000 ninja troops must be destroyed in one blow. In this situation, the Geninists are beating drums crazily in their hearts. I hope Nine Tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Naruto, a ninja from Konoha, can become a hero again. Boom. Suddenly the tailed beast bomb hit Naruto's chest. Nine Tails transformed from chakra, hugging tailed beast bomb tightly with both hands. However, the terrifying impact force caused Naruto's body to start to retreat crazily in an instant. At the same time, the tailed beast bomb burst into dazzling light. A white light lit up on Naruto's chest. This is obviously the rhythm to explode. But at this time, it seems that there is no other choice. Even if you die, you can't let go, even if you don't immediately control Nine Tails' tail to wrap it around. Want to completely wrap this tailed beast bomb. So what if he blocked this tailed beast bomb? The price he paid was very heavy. However, Ten Tails can also continue to release the next tailed beast bomb, so what's the use of doing that? When the light erupted, Naruto felt a strong chakra erupt in his chest, and for a moment his body seemed to lose consciousness completely. At this moment, Naruto felt personally how terrifying Ten Tails' tailed beast bomb was. The strength has only just erupted. If it erupts completely, I am afraid there will be no bones left at all. Are you going to die here? Bang! Rays of light pierced through the gaps in Nine Tails' tails. Looking at the dazzling glare, it directly forms a beam of light that looks like half of the substance, and goes straight into the sky. The power emanating from that light made the hearts of the ninjas tremble suddenly. Not to mention at this moment, Naruto, who completely blocked the energy of the explosion, was enduring the terrifying force of destruction. And under such circumstances, even ordinary ninjas would lower their heads. Nine Tails Jinchuriki must die. Such an explosive attack is absolutely impossible to be safe and sound. Naruto. Little Sakura's shouts sounded on the battlefield. And this time, the light of the explosion stopped abruptly. Almost at the same time, Nine Tails' chakra's body also suddenly dissipated. Moment. Like nothing, Naruto fell straight to the ground. Poof. Naruto, who was sitting on the ground, seemed to be shaken awake. He raised his head and looked around blankly. At the same time, the surrounding ninjas were also stunned. What's happening here? Ten Tails' tailed beast bomb just got blocked. Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Alright, he is so strong? Obito also looked at Naruto in surprise. Could it be that Nine Tails really blocked his Ten Tails' tailed beast bomb? Are you kidding me? This is the Ten Tails' tailed beast bomb. If only Nine Tails could block it, then there would be no difference between Ten Tails and Nine Tails. When everyone was dumbfounded, a salsa sounded. Naruto looked up at the person in front of him. The pupils of the eyes expanded rapidly in an instant, and he raised his hand to rub his eyes frantically, as if he was afraid that he might see wrongly. At this moment, other ninjas around also noticed. Each of them became a little short of breath. Some people even held their breath, not daring to catch their breath. Want to block the tailed beast bomb with 10 tails alone? Even if you block it, what about the 10 tailed beast bomb after that? Such an idiotic way really deserves to be you, Naruto. Hearing this familiar voice and familiar complaints, Naruto stood up abruptly. Sasuke, I knew you weren't dead, it was you just now. Die? You want to kill me with your strength, it's hard. Said Sasuke turned his head to look at Obito in the distance. 10 tails. At this moment everyone noticed Sasuke. But in the eyes of ordinary ninjas, shouldn't Sasuke be dead already? Was killed by Konoha's 9 tails Jinchuriki. Why is this guy still alive? Obito stared at Sasuke. Has it appeared again? Impure World Reincarnation's technique, he should be the one who did it. Sasuke. You almost ruined my plan, since you appeared again, let you feel the power of 10 tails. The appearance of Sasuke made Obito feel a strong sense of oppression. A feeling of uneasiness and extreme insecurity came over me. Especially when Sasuke stared at him for a moment, Obito felt as if he was seen through from inside to outside. Under such circumstances, Obito looked at Sasuke with an indescribable disgust. It's like wanting to kill Sasuke as soon as possible. One thing Sasuke was right, even though Naruto blocked the tailed beast bomb just now. But what about the next tailed beast bomb? Thinking of this, Obito's eyes narrowed slightly. Immediately take control of the 10 tails and start gathering chakra again, ready to unleash the tailed beast bomb. Chakra is gathering frantically. The sudden strong chakra fluctuation broke out again. For a while, the ninjas on the entire battlefield began to worry again. The tailed beast bomb started again, and it was indeed blocked once, so how can it be blocked the second time? Naruto felt the 9 tails chakra inside him. Now look at Sasuke ahead. Sasuke. Let's join forces. Let's solve this guy first, and talk about other problems later. Naruto stepped forward and tried to persuade Sasuke by talking. However, Sasuke disappeared directly in the next second. To be precise, it swept directly forward, and when Sasuke reappeared, he directly let go. Appeared in the midair smash. Appeared directly above the separated body. Sasuke is suspended in the air. This kind of floating ability is quite rare in the ninja world. But for Sasuke, who already has the King of Souls, floating is nothing more than simple ultralight heavy rock technique, plus some special wind style applications. Very simple. Watching Sasuke float in midair directly passing these split bodies below. Naruto's eyes widened instantly. Sasuke. You. What did you do during the time you disappeared? No matter how dull Naruto is, he can feel that Sasuke has become stronger. Uchiha. Obito. Suddenly Sasuke opened his mouth and called Obito's name, and this moment brought the king into trouble. Not only Obito, but everyone on the battlefield was stunned. What did he call the other party just now? Uchiha, Obito. Is this the name of the guy who controls 10 tails? Everyone looked this way, even Madara, who was enjoying the battle, suddenly looked back at Sasuke. How does he know Obito's identity? At this moment, Obito's expression under the mask is constantly changing, looking at Sasuke in front of him uncertainly. I don't understand why Sasuke knows his name. Obito hesitated for a second before speaking slowly. Looking at Sasuke in front of him, there is a look of surprise in his eyes. Did you? When? Knew my identity? These words made countless ninjas open their mouths. It turns out, it's true. That name that Uchiha Sasuke just said is obviously the real name of the guy who controls 10 tails. This guy is called Uchiha Obito? Isn't the Uchiha family already extinct? Why besides Uchiha Sasuke, there are other Uchiha clans alive? How is this possible? Obito slowly took off his mask, since you already know, it's useless to hide anymore. Now Hiruzen was looking at Obito above 10 tails. Obito. It's really you. If 4th Hokage hadn't been included in the gourd, I'm afraid now is the real surprise. The person who controlled 10 tails turned out to be the dead Obito. Hiruzen is completely unable to calm down now. The news came too explosive. A person who is already dead, why would he? Your identity. How do I know? You don't need to worry about it. Anyway, now I need the chakra of the tailed beast. 10 tails under your feet, I'm so sorry. I need to get him back to his original form. Sasuke's words stunned Obito for a moment, and he returned to his original state. Sasuke's target is also the tailed beast chakra. Did he know something? Thinking of this, Obito's eyes became much darker. While Sasuke was speaking, tailed beast bomb was still cohesive as always. And now it's done. With the current strength of 10 tails, the speed of condensing tailed beast bomb is simply not too fast. HMPH. Since you seem to know something, I can't keep you alive. Uchiha Sasuke. The moment the voice fell, the tailed beast bomb from the mouth of 10 tails under Obito exploded. Moment. The tailed beast bomb that swept over without any warning was already very close to Sasuke, and it was almost going to be stuck on Sasuke's face in the next second. In a split second, Sasuke was almost hit. Everyone couldn't help but gasp at this moment. But the tailed beast bomb's light didn't have time to burst out. Immediately afterwards, the tailed beast bomb disappeared instantly. The ninjas rubbed their eyes quickly. Tailed beast bomb. Why is it missing? Did the release fail? Failed to release? What a joke. Can this thing release failure? Boom. The roar of a sudden explosion came from a distance. Everyone looked behind, in the open space behind the battlefield. The flames of the tailed beast bomb exploded instantly. A huge mushroom cloud rises from the ground and spreads slowly. The strong wind that swept over continuously rolled back from behind. When the wind blows by all the ninjas, only at this time did someone belatedly remember that the explosion just now seemed to be the tailed beast bomb. But why did the tailed beast bomb reach such a distance in an instant? This. What kind of ability is this? Combination of heavenly hand and flying thunder god. In an instant, use the power of the pupil to move the tailed beast bomb to another place, and then use chakra's package to directly transfer the tailed beast bomb to another place in an instant. This operation requires Sasuke to use his heavenly hand power and someone to cooperate with him to use flying thunder god. Of course it won't work to rely on Sasuke alone. But now, Sasuke has the Soul King, who is responsible for launching the flying thunder god. So there was such a wonderful scene. For example, the moment Sasuke stood motionless, he instantly moved the tailed beast bomb to such a far place. Turning their heads, countless ninjas looked at Sasuke, their eyes already trembling crazily. Didn't do anything. He obviously didn't do anything? How did he do it? What did you just do? Obito also seemed a little flustered, but Sasuke didn't move at all. He even casually transferred the tailed beast bomb to such a place. Tailed beast bomb may be unstoppable by Sasuke, but this transfer will give tailed beast bomb a solution. It is also equivalent to declaring that Obito's powerful lethal means are directly invalid. Didn't you want me to see the power of 10 tails? That's it. Obito's eyes narrowed slightly. There was a slight disdain in Sasuke's eyes. Even though he controls 10 tails, Sasuke still seems to look down on him. This feeling Obito seems to have returned to that time. It was the same when Lin died, she was so powerless. It was clearly in front of my eyes, but I didn't have any power to stop it. Same thing, how can it happen twice? Obito's eyes flashed red bloodshot. Since you want to see it so much, let you feel the power of 10 tails. Boom. In an instant, 10 tails raised his hand and grabbed Sasuke. There was a slight gleam in Sasuke's eyes. It's just right, it's used to try the calendar area of King Ling. With the thought of Sasuke. Immediately, a huge stone ape rose directly from the ground under Sasuke's feet, with red river flowing on its body. The moment 10 tails grabbed it, stone ape also grabbed it with one hand. Grab 10 tails' wrist and clasp it tightly. Sasuke is very satisfied with the power of the Soul King. But, at this moment, Sasuke condenses or summons the stone monkey out of thin air. Shocked everyone. Throughout the battlefield, all the ninjas who looked at this place had their eyes widened. He stared at Sasuke intently. Moment. It's just a short time to breathe, yet. So easily and simply summoned a stone ape. How the hell did this guy do it? Buzz buzz. The stone ape and 10 tails competed with each other, but to Obito's surprise, the stone ape that suddenly appeared in front of him was no weaker than 10 tails in terms of strength. How is this possible? This is 10 tails. Obito stood firmly on the head of 10 tails, and at the same time turned more focus on the control of 10 tails. The splinters on the ground also quickly gathered in the direction of Sasuke. Sasuke glanced at the splinters below. Raise your hand, gently wave. In an instant, countless wind blades fell from the sky. Boom boom boom. After a series of roaring sounds, these split bodies were cut in half one after another. In the blink of an eye, all these split bodies rushing over were dealt with. Sasuke raised his head and squinted at 10 tails, waving his tail towards him rapidly. A smile flickered in Sasuke's eyes. Bang bang. There was no need for Sasuke's control at all. The stone ape waved his fists directly, knocking all the tails of these attacks into the air. He even took the initiative to step forward and move closer to 10 tails. Exactly like a ninja of Grandmaster Taijutsu, a quick punch bombarded 10 tails' abdomen, and a flying knee hit 10 tails' head. Obito's body was shaking, but he still managed to stabilize himself on Ten Tails' head. Along with the continuous roar, Ten Tails was pressed to the ground by a stone ape and beat violently. Obito's face was very gloomy. Sasuke was floating in midair. "It's so weak," said that the splinter behind him wanted to attack Sasuke. Sasuke's head would not shake his hand, and a large amount of sand burst out from under the split body below, directly burying them alive. The pressure was released suddenly, directly crushing these split bodies into a mass of mud. So easy to get these splinters with magnet style. Such a scene stunned the ninjas in the fierce battle. Ten Tails' split body is not weak. Uchiha Sasuke, however, has it all done so easily. Looks like Ten Tails is nothing more than that. Although it is very strong, in your hands, its strength can't be brought into play at all. Sasuke said lightly, his voice shrouded the entire battlefield. And Obito's face became more and more ugly. He didn't understand why. This little stone ape looked like a creature formed from rocks controlled by earth style. Why is there such a fighting power? A pervert with incomparable physical defense. No matter how the Ten Tails attack, they can't even break the defense. Even in terms of strength, he was absolutely suppressed, punching after punching Ten Tails. Although it will not cause any damage to Ten Tails, it can make chakra of Ten Tails start to turmoil. Obito wants to make it more difficult to control Ten Tails. It won't work like this. Damn it. You forced me, Uchiha Sasuke. I won't let you ruin my plans. In the next second, Sasuke caught a bit of killing intent in the air. Lightning flashed, and the third Raikage who didn't know when suddenly rushed towards Sasuke. One finger condensed an extremely amazing lightning-style chakra. Rayed directly towards Sasuke. Hellspike, a penetrating hand. The flashing thunder and lightning came in front of Sasuke in the blink of an eye. However, this moment, Sasuke didn't dodge. Hell stab? It was once rumored that the strongest spear is this one. But now it seems that it is nothing more than that. Beep. Zzz. While Sasuke was speaking, Sasuke raised his hand to directly block third Raikage's attack, and the Hellspike was blocked. And it is also the strongest one that penetrates the hand, and there is thunder flowing from Sasuke's palm. Although it doesn't look as powerful as third Raikage's thunderbolt, it makes third Raikage completely invincible. Third Raikage froze. It actually blocked the old man's Hell Thrust. A move that was once hailed as the strongest spear was actually blocked so easily. At this moment, not only was third Raikage's mind shaken, but the other ninjas were completely stunned. The power Sasuke showed seemed to be more terrifying than before. The strongest blow against third Raikage, such an understatement. How can this be? However, in the next second Sasuke raised his hand and snapped his fingers lightly. The thunder that swept from all around instantly acted on third Raikage's body, and the lightning style chakra mode was directly broken by the lightning. The black lightning style paralyzes the third Raikage's body. Sasuke didn't even look at him. The sand swept all around directly wrapped third Raikage. A black stick directly penetrated third Raikage's body, and at the same time the seal pattern appeared, and third Raikage was directly sealed by Sasuke. The mummified third Raikage falls from the sky. Beep. Falling to the ground, the sand and iron seem to fuse together to form a real iron coffin. Now it is true that no one can open it, nor can it lift the seal of third Raikage. Look at Obito below. Sasuke was very disdainful. Just because of this, why does my wife want to kill me? Obito gritted his teeth hard. The majestic third Raikage, in front of Sasuke, is so vulnerable. How terrifying is this guy's power? Thinking of this, Obito's face became a little gloomy. He exhaled lightly. It seems that the only thing I can do is gamble. Uchiha Sasuke, you want tailed beast chakra. Now there is no chance. In the next second, Obito suddenly lowered his head and let out a loud shout. In an instant, the body of Ten Tails, who was being suppressed by the stone ape, began to twist, and was continuously absorbed towards Obito's abdomen. Sasuke frowned. Absorb. 10 tails, ding. This choice to absorb 10 tails, in Sasuke's view, is quite risky. You must know that according to Sasuke's perception, chakra of 10 tails has begun to show signs of going berserk. And absorbing it at this time means that if you don't have a strong will, if you can't suppress the power of 10 tails, then you will be swallowed by 10 tails instead. Become part of the power of 10 tails. Not to mention being what 10 tails Jinchuriki is. This is simply courting death. In Sasuke's view, leading the king doesn't have the power to suppress him at the end. However, the process of absorbing 10 tails is also very fast. 10 tails was completely absorbed almost instantly. A huge white cocoon appeared before his eyes. Sasuke waved lightly, and the stone monkey disappeared in a blink of an eye. 10 tails disappeared. In turn, a giant protein cocoon appeared. Let all the ninjas be a little confused. What's this? 10 tails. Why is it missing? Solved by Uchiha Sasuke. However, at this time, Madara on the other side suddenly stopped fighting Hashirama. Turning to look in Obito's direction. Ha ha ha. Have you finally made a decision? Obito. You finally chose to be the pillar of 10 tails. Madara's voice was loud, and the surrounding ninjas were slightly startled. 10 tails. Jinchuriki. What is it like to be a 10 tails Jinchuriki? 10 tails. Jinchuriki, this is not the legendary sage of 6 paths. Hashirama was very surprised. They didn't just want to revive 10 tails, their purpose turned out to be 10 tails history. These guys want to be the second sage of 6 paths. Sage of 6 paths? The ninjas looked at each other. That's right. It's the sage of 6 paths. The former sage of 6 paths was the Jinchuriki of 10 tails, but later he divided the chakra of 10 tails into 9 parts, and this is how the tailed beast is now. And now the collection of tailed beast chakra is barely complete. Absorbing Obito from 10 tails will become an existence comparable to sage of 6 paths. Become the new 10 tails Jinchuriki, seeing how excited Madara is. Hashirama hurriedly asked, Madara, what are you trying to do? Hearing this, Madara smiled, of course. Use this power to create a brand new world. Create a brand new world. Click. Suddenly the giant white cocoon began to break open. A hand came straight out of it. Looking at the gray-white arm, all the ninjas could not help but shudder. The chakra wave that leaked out in that instant. Too strong. It's like being in the ocean all of a sudden. Boom, accompanied by the complete rupture of the giant white cocoon. 6 paths Obito appears, holding a fairy tin staff in hand. A truth-seeking ball floated behind him, and his body turned into a white robe in shock. And accompanied by the pattern of Guyu, there are scales behind it, with flames burning on it. It is called crossfire, a very powerful energy. The attack power is very powerful. The appearance of 6 paths Obito directly stunned all the ninjas in place. This shape is almost the same as the legendary sage of 6 paths. Obito felt the power he had now, and at the same time raised his head to look at Sasuke floating in the air in front of him. How is it? Sasuke, do you still feel that 10 tails are weak? Hearing this, Sasuke nodded, it's really strong, but you can't use the power of 10 tails at all. Obito gritted his teeth lightly, you won't understand, after absorbing 10 tails, I can already be compared with Sage of 6 Paths. Sage of 6 Paths, Sasuke smiled, so what? Even if it is the real Sage of 6 Paths, standing in front of Sasuke, Sasuke is not afraid at all. Not to mention an Obito who still can't really control the power of 10 tails. What kind of existence is the Sage of 6 Paths, don't you know? Sasuke. No. Sasuke nodded. The ninja sect he founded is the guy who opened up the new world. But so what? Is Sage of 6 Paths strong? Sasuke smiled. Even if it's Sage of 6 Paths, it's not invincible. Obito, do you think you'll be invincible if you get 10 tails? Obito was very angry because he still didn't take himself seriously. Now I have mastered the power of 6 Paths, became an existence comparable to Sage of 6 Paths. Why did Uchiha Sasuke dare to look down on himself with such aloof eyes? Do he feel that he can still be teased by him at will now as before? Thinking of this, Obito's face suddenly changed. It seems that if I don't let you feel the power of 6 Paths, you won't. Beep. Suddenly, before Obito finished speaking, Sasuke appeared directly in front of him. Indifferent glances flicked across Obito's face. At this moment Sasuke's voice sounded, so much nonsense. Your strength, in my eyes, is really not worth mentioning. The moment he spoke, Sasuke's fist hit Obito's face hard. With an instant punch, Obito's body flew backwards instantly like a cannonball. Swish. Countless ninjas were dumbfounded by the ultimate speed of being knocked out of the air. This is a fist? This power is too much. But Sasuke's attack was more than that. The pupil shrank slightly, and there was a state of mind in his mind. All of a sudden black thunderbolts from the sky fell straight down. Boom boom boom. One after another, he hit Obito who was flying backwards. The black thunder flickered, and the remaining thunder and lightning hadn't had time to disappear. Flame burst out instantly. The fire dragon condensed from behind Sasuke opened its huge mouth, and at the same time the 3 fire dragons rushed towards the direction of the king. The fire dragon flashed past quickly. Accurate hit Obito. accompanied by explosions and storms. Obito was finally knocked out of the sky. The wave formed by the flames spread around. Sasuke stepped forward step by step. Weak. You can't dodge such an attack. If it's the Sage of Six Paths, he can easily dodge such an attack. The corners of the ninja's mouths twitched slightly. Is this really Sage of Six Paths level power? Why does it feel like there is no difference between, the same as being pushed to the ground by Sasuke and beaten violently? Absorbed 10 tails, becoming 10 tails Jinchuriki comparable to Obito of Sage of Six Paths. One face-to-face was blown away, and 2 terrifying attacks erupted at the same time in one breath. Thunder and fire. The remaining aftermath is still in the air and has not yet dissipated. And Sasuke didn't seal the whole process, just waved his hand lightly, and the attack appeared directly. How far this guy has reached with the use of chakra. Many ninjas have noticed this. The shadows on the battlefield naturally also noticed. They looked at Sasuke in front of them as a shadow. They are even more incomprehensible. Sasuke's attack. Exactly. Why? No mudras are required, nor are there any special actions. It was as if a single thought, an attack was suddenly launched. Is this the power of the Sage of Six Paths? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Obito, who was engulfed in flames and thunder in the distance. The power of Sage of Six Paths can almost be said to be like a god. But facing Sasuke, it still seems that nothing has changed. Does that count as Six Paths level power? Senju Tobirama frowned. Compared to this, I'm more curious why Uchiha Sasuke can release ninjutsu directly without using seals or even condensing chakra. Tsunade. Maybe. This is some special technique he created himself. Special technique? What kind of technique can be so special? The seal releases ninjutsu, which has been an unchanging rule since the history of the ninja world. Even if it is as strong as Hashirama, it needs to do the most basic not seal. Although it's just clapping hands, but clapping hands also means the cohesion of chakra. Sasuke has no such movement at all. Senju Hashirama seemed to think of something at this moment. Sasuke said before, for the cultivation of strength, the pursuit of a higher realm. I once thought about a question, do ninjas have to end when they release ninjutsu? Hearing Hashirama's words, the others were taken aback. Does a ninja need a seal to release ninjutsu? Shouldn't it be sealable? Madara frowned, looking at Sasuke, who was exuding strong chakra waves. Uchiha Sasuke, why do you have such power? Why? Obviously you are not even a Jinchuriki, but your strength is so powerful. Although Obito does not have a perfect grasp of 10 tails, it is also a genuine Six Paths level combat power. You can't go wrong. It may be an exaggeration to say that it is comparable to Sage of Six Paths, but there should be no one in the ninja world who can stand against this force. But Sasuke. As if relying on his own strength, he reached an unbelievable situation. Even Obito, who has the power of 10 tails, can fly directly. And it seems to have broken the iron rules for thousands of years, and can release ninjutsu attacks without any seals at all. Is there really some amazing mystery hidden in chakra's nature transformation? Madara couldn't figure it out, and Dai Wang couldn't figure it out at all at this moment. Why? I am already a 10 tails Jinchuriki myself. Why is Sasuke still able to suppress himself like this? Although it was just a punch, the power and speed of that punch made him feel like he couldn't keep up. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Obito stood up slowly. Earth-style, earth-flowing river. Suddenly Sasuke's voice sounded again. This time, everyone was completely stunned. Sasuke just read a sentence lightly, but the spell released in the next second made everyone unbelievable. The mud that swept from all directions immediately submerged Obito's figure. When Obito didn't react at all, the converging torrent formed a huge mudslide on the battlefield. Quickly skipped towards the distance. Sasuke raised his hand, and the storm gathered in the sky instantly. Terrifying tornadoes converge, with flames burning in the center. Wind. Like an invisible barrier, it directly wraps the flame in it. Followed by continuous compression. Constant compression. The wind can also fuel the fire, making the flames that should have become terrifying. It was compressed into a small ball. The compound ninjutsu combined at random made all the ninjas present dumbfounded. What ninjutsu is this? Technique never seen before. The current Sasuke has already been freed from the shackles of the art. It doesn't matter whether it's flames or strong winds. The shape and so on can be changed at will according to Sasuke's ideas. Don't stick to the form anymore, as long as Sasuke is willing, he can perform spells in any form. For example now. The storm gathered unexpectedly turned into an arrow, and the arrow with big eyes pointed downward. The arrow part of the flame burst out. The flames that are constantly being compressed seem to have opened their wings at this moment. A pair of wings of flames directly opened. With the help of arrows made of wind, the high temperature erupting from the flames can be easily felt even at a distance of 100 meters. In the next second, the light of the flame, like a flash, fell directly down. A deafening roar erupted. At this moment the ground was trembling crazily. Flames erupted, but this time the goblet of firestorm shrouded it. It only spread over a range of more than 10 meters, and under the cover of the strong wind, they gathered again. Facing the position where Obito was, it burned crazily. The wind seemed to form an invisible barrier. Envelop it in flames. No one knows how high the temperature is inside at this moment. But looking at the light of the flame eruption, the rocks seemed to be destroyed in an instant. This made everyone hold their breath. Is there such a horrible technique? This power probably has surpassed the category of S-rank ninjutsu. Is this a newly created ninjutsu? Second Hokage Tobirama, who is a ninjutsu master, is also shocked by Sasuke's power at this moment. Not just the power of jutsu, but Sasuke was able to create such terrifying ninjutsu. Hiruzen also gasped. Indeed, it's a terrible technique. The roar lasted for tens of seconds before dissipating slowly. When the last trace of flame completely disappeared, everyone seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The fighting power of the 6 paths level doesn't seem to be very good. What 10 tails Jinchuriki seems too weak, really. If it is really the strength of 6 paths level, doesn't that mean that Uchiha Sasuke is already comparable to Sage of 6 paths? Everyone swallowed their saliva silently, looking at the place that was burned by the flames and turned into a piece of lava. Obito's figure has disappeared without a trace. Guess it's already been wiped out. 10 tails Jinchuriki, although it seems to be intimidating, it doesn't seem to be very strong. When the ninjas were thinking like this, in the lava, Obito's body slowly floated up. Sasuke. You really surprised me. I never thought that you, without the tailed beast chakra, would reach this level through your own power. Unbelievable. It's incredible. Obito's voice sounded. Hearing Obito's voice, the ninjas were surprised, but Sasuke didn't respond. As calm as ever. Obito, floating in midair, gazes at Sasuke. Thanks to you, I was able to use your pressure to completely master 10 tails. A few scales fell off behind Obito. At the same time, the volatility of chakra is also much stronger. It seems that he has completely mastered the power of 10 tails. Madara frowned. Uchiha Sasuke, was it really to kill Obito's attack just now? From Madara's point of view, Sasuke seems to be attacking to give Obito further control over the power of the 10 tails. But if this is what I think, what is Sasuke doing this for?